Hello and welcome to episode 80 of the MisanthroPod. I'm Snipe, and as always, I'm joined by drummer Matt. Say hello.
Hello.
And the Wibblybutt. Say hello.
Hello.
How are you, lovely gentlemen, and how surprising is it that there are now 80 of these?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm doing okay, but that is a terrifying
Yeah,
fact.
when you said 80, I was a bit weirded out. Gotta be honest.
It's literally 80. I double-checked. I triple-checked. It's too much.
So far we haven't, said the wrong number at the start of an episode and had to, ADR it in afterwards. We haven't had to do that yet.
I mean, I'm kind of worried that your brain goes there immediately, but okay. Well, welcome to the MisanthroPod. It's episode 8009.
It's not an unheard of thing for people at the start of a podcast to get their own number wrong.
I don't think I ever have.
No, I have it printed on my notes each time, so I'd correct you. You know I'd enjoy correcting you, so...
That's literally, I think that's the basis of our friendship. Is I say something fucking stupid and you go, no. Hit me with hit me with your rolled up doctorate and go, fucking no.
That I don't have.
Yeah, where did you get that from?
I don't know.
But just pretend you earned it, it's fine.
Anyway, podcast.
Yeah, we do have some general news to talk about. It was a very special event this past week. My birthday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where they held a celebratory, rock music festival, is what the kids like, in Donington, in the UK.
That's actually this weekend?
Well, it's been raining, so they've put it off a little bit.
Oh, okay.
There's also E3, which is done entirely in my honour as well, where a bunch of companies get together and basically charge people tickets to watch adverts.
Yeah.
I'm in a funny mood. That is kind of quite tongue-in-cheek of me, so before someone writes an angry comment, I am kind of taking the piss.
And we have no high ground. We paid money to go to Warhammer Fest, so...
Yeah,
Which,
no,
was also just paying money to go into a big Warhammer shop.
Yeah,
but it was awesome.
It was so worth it, though.
So,
but yeah.
Seeing as how friendly you're feeling towards E3, I'm assuming you're excited towards the new Halo game, the new Gears of War game, and the new Borderlands game, which are completely original and very uncynical.
I can't stand all of those, but I really hope they're good for the fans.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
I literally didn't even watch the trailers for those. I was like, it's fine. If people like them, great. They're just not things that any of us care about.
Yeah.
No, which, I mean, if that's new information to anyone.
Yeah,
we are apathetic to many things.
I thought that's new information to anyone. Gears of War exists.
If you didn't hear about it, Gears of War is a video game series.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
They were originally debuted on the Xbox 360 and was one of the early games to use the Unreal 3 engine.
There is a slight difference, though. If you want a new game that is Gears of War, but it is original, you can combine Gears of War with Funko Pops.
Why?
I don't know, but that's the thing.
Okay,
horrible.
good.
Alright, let's move on to things that we're actually excited about.
Okay, so there was Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, which is a fucking mouthful and a half, which had a, extended, you can't see me doing air quotes around the word gameplay, but gameplay trailer.
I mean, it did show a lot of gameplay, but it wasn't an unedited...
It was very on rails. I mean, it's fine. At least you got a peek at the dialogue system, which seems like it's the same as the first one, which is kind of rad, actually.
Although it doesn't seem to have the terrible different fonts to represent things.
Mm-hmm. It does just have, square brackets, coercion.
Yeah.
It's thank you, that's so much easier to read.
You don't have to look at it and go, oh, that's the sexy font, or that's the intimidation font.
The intimidation font, I want a mod where it's just Comic Sans in red. Now that's intimidating.
Yeah, or the Malkavian font.
Malkavian font is definitely Wingdings. You just, I don't know what that says, but it's definitely Malkavian.
But yeah, as someone that has recently played through Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 1, and thoroughly enjoyed it despite the extreme jank, I'm very, very interested in it. It does seem like there's a lot of familiar places that have been seen in the trailer, and there was a few voices that sounded familiar, but I'm not sure if it's just people who sound a little similar or if they were supposed to be the same people.
Now, I'm sure it was this one where it was just, there was a guy talking and he sounded exactly like Liam O'Brien. And I couldn't find it anywhere in his IMDb, but it sounded so much like him.
I mean, it was only a couple of days ago it was released, so, that might be why.
But yeah, that's fun, if so. But I mean, it looks like... I'm looking at this getting excited, because I'm like, oh, this might be a Vampire the Masquerade game I can play.
This might be a Vampire the Masquerade game that doesn't feel like hot arse to actually play.
Yeah, so, I'm looking forward. I'm hoping they don't fuck this up.
I just hope...
As I'm sure a lot of people are.
Just hope I can be an anarch again.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, interested in that.
What about you, Drummer Butt? Did you see that one?
Yeah, I know. I'll be quite, because I've never even attempted to play the old one, because I just.
It feels like you're handling a bag of smashed arse.
Yeah, I really hope in this new one there's a secret room you can get to that just has like toilets on the ceiling.
Oh, that
just
would
for nostalgia's
be a great
sake.
nod.
Like, look, is it made by the same people or is it completely separate?
I believe it is still made by some of the same people are involved, or at least the same companies involved.
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah, just to acknowledge. Yeah, okay, we realised the last one was janky, but
yeah, I might be wrong there. I didn't honestly. When it's been that long past, I think it's It's a bit like something else we'll be talking about later. When like a sequel or a remake happens significantly long after the original, unless literally the same team is on it, it might not be necessarily reflective of the same ethos that the original one was made in. So it could be made by completely different people.
I only meant it just because it's they probably can't take the piss out of another company's game, but if it's their game, their own old game, even if no one still works on it, that's still legit that they can take the piss out of it.
I would love it if you went to the Nosferatu underground and you encountered one that happened to be playing like a game on one of their many computers, complaining about the game that he's playing requiring a fan patch to even function.
That would be a nice nod.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't surprise me if they did something like that either. Because it was the original Bloodlines was very much... It was not afraid of being, silly, where it was necessary to do. Hell, there's like a quest where you just go into like the graveyard, which undead celebrities raise up and try and murder everyone like every night or so. And there's a guy who's just paid to like sit there and deal with that, and he loves it because he gets to shoot celebrities in the face all day long.
And then they get up the next day.
Yeah, because that's in Hollywood. So
fantastic,
amazing,
exquisite. Next one is Cyberpunk 2077. What do you guys think about that one?
I've got to be honest.
Because you've got to be careful now, because the internet is frothing at the fucking mouth for this one. They
are
literally
I saw that.
wanking themselves to death over this.
Oh no, I saw lots of negative stuff about it on the internet. That's all I've seen.
Yeah, no, I've seen more kind of like it's the most pre-ordered game on Steam, and it's just like over a year before it comes out. It's been being teased for way longer.
I've honestly, in my sort of social feed, seen more people being a bit apathetic towards it. Honestly,
I'm not going to talk too much about this because I've got a few negative feelings about this.
Yeah, I think
I don't feel very good about this game.
Without getting too deep into it, there's been a bunch of stuff that's been happening around its release that's made me a little bit less excited for it. And as much as I like Keanu Reeves, like genuinely, he seems like a nice guy.
Absolutely,
and
he seems like the loveliest dude.
Things like Destiny 1 mean that a celebrity cameo in a game does not make me excited for it in any way, shape, or form, because just because they're in it doesn't mean they're going to be good at that role.
Yeah. I mean, I say that's a fair concern, because I kind of look at games that are trying to push celebrities in there, remember all of the voice actors not getting paid fairly, and basically sit there and go, how much money would it cost? How much money is this celebrity taking away from game development? Yeah. But I mean, I'm not saying that this is the case here. I'm just saying that anytime I see a celebrity being introduced into a game as a cameo character or whatever, it starts alarm bells ringing.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? This could be like the best game ever. I'm not liking a lot of the buzz around it right now. It's kind of giving me the bad feels.
But let's move on from that to something.
And I think the final point on that is it doesn't matter how good or bad it either currently looks, you think it will be, or it actually is in the end. Don't pre-order it. It's just a bad idea.
Yeah, just try not
don't.
to, because it's not good, especially when there's like, I mean, I don't mind game delays if that means the game is released finished. And that doesn't mean that crunch is happening, but CD Projekt Red have proved that they will crunch. And, like, the game can change so drastically from here to, like, next year.
Yeah.
And the money is better in your pocket as opposed to a big company. Like, this is just pretty much regarding anything. So just, just try and be wary is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Like, if you have pre-ordered it, I mean, fine, but I'd say it's probably better to try and not.
And I think moving on to something that I can be unmitigatedly negative about.
Oh, please,
as
start
opposed
getting
to vaguely.
really nerd ragey.
Actually, it's not that bad. But the Final Fantasy VII Remake, we've actually seen like a bunch of gameplay and some cutscenes and things from it.
And hear the terrible voice acting.
It
is so bad, y'all.
It's very mid-tier anime dub.
Oh no! Would you like to buy a flower? I'm a lovin'.
Okay,
I've always hated Aries,
yeah,
so
okay,
like,
it's not quite that bad, but
it's pretty bad. It's like Monster Hunter bad.
I was wondering if it might have something to do with it almost feels like the voice lines haven't been integrated into the engine. They've merely been overlaid on top, so they're not using like the soundscapes, so they sound.
It does, I will say the biggest problem I have with it is the sound balancing of the trailers ain't great. But I mean, it's the fucking trailer, so
yeah. But as someone that considers Final Fantasy VII to be his favorite game ever,
the most qualified nerd here,
who has played through the game like a year or so ago.
Drama Matt has as well.
Oh yeah, you did as well.
Yeah, I
didn't
played
you?
it. About a year ago.
Yeah, so we both played through it recently. Like, I've got to be honest. When I'd always been a bit like about the combat, because I just quite like it to be the old-fashioned turn-based combat. Because I like that, and this is not that. And having seen the majority of the Guard Scorpion boss fight, it honestly looks really tedious.
Yeah, it's like, look, if you're gonna remake it, don't remake it with new mechanics.
I mean, I don't.
That's why I'm like, I mean, that's one of the few reasons I'm just kind of like, ugh, whatever.
You see, I'm not actually. I gotta say, I don't actually agree with that. I don't mind the remake having new mechanics. I think
that's fair.
I think just for me personally, like changing the mechanics so drastically does make it into a different game, and that's like fine, whatever. Because the most AAA games have got this weird bee in their bonnet about how no one wants to play turn-based role-playing games anymore.
It's like when they decided that survival horror was dead for no... they just decided this, even though people still loved that genre.
Yeah. And so, yeah, like the actual combat, I'm just looking at it and going like, that doesn't look like it's going to be something I'm going to enjoy. And I personally have real trouble imagining certain fights working in that system and having the same feel to them. Like, I can't imagine fighting Safer Sephiroth. And that feeling the same when I'm actually physically hitting him. When it's... Because, I mean, I don't know, the turn-based thing allows you to have bigger kind of things, I feel. The other slightly upsetting thing I noticed is that in the trailer, though it does show off the collector's edition that has a Cloud on a bike that, despite being an obvious piece of plastic tat that I don't need in my life,
you desperately want that plastic piece of tat in your life.
But it does. There's a little thing at the top that has like, summon, like bonus summon DLC.
Oh, fuck off.
Nah.
Which is
See, I mean, that's my biggest concern with this remake, is that it's modern day Squeenix.
Yeah,
That's my fucking problem.
Square Enix of 2020 when it comes out is not the same as Square Soft from 97. So.
Yeah, and that's going to be my issue.
Also, because I do have some positive things to say about it.
Please.
The other negative I want to say, and this is actually the greatest crime. Now I think this was in the original game, so I understand them keeping it. But in Tifa's bar in Seventh Heaven, you see a sign for eggs and chips. a bright neon sign, and I could go and check to see if that was in the original, because, weird, slightly broken English is in the background all over that game, so I don't necessarily remember all of them. But it being in the trailer so prominently just made me sit there the whole time going, no one would say eggs and chips. You'd say egg and chips. That's really weird.
Glad that you have important criticisms.
Yeah, okay, that was my important major criticism.
Okay, so don't play this game. Eggs and chips is garbage. Boycott now.
But on the positive, I do actually really like.
It's worse than my bloody hair in the face Castlevania criticism.
Also, now Mr. Hair in the Face is all getting high and mighty because of eggs and chips. Yeah, fuck off, mate.
Maybe in other countries people would frame it as eggs and chips, but in Britain, when people say that, they always say egg and chips.
Yeah, you're fair.
See, we call them chips and Eggos.
Australia is a terrifying place. But to go on to positive things, I absolutely love how faithful they are to the designs of the original game. And I don't just mean the characters, because whilst they've modernised the characters a bit, and that's cool.
I will just interject with, I fucking love Tifa's design.
Oh, yeah.
How she, because in the old one, her tits were, serious, she would have to hold them walking up and down stairs wearing 2 sports bras. They are so big, she would literally develop severe, debilitating back injuries at, age, 26.
Yeah.
And it's just, horrible to look at, because, you can imagine the horrible life that awaits her as a woman with such an unwieldy chest.
Yeah. Fortunately, they've
toned them down, and I mean they're still big, but they look like, and she looks like she is wearing a sports bra underneath her her tank top. So it's just that is so sensible. Thank you. That looks awesome.
Yeah, no, I
that
really
looks so
it.
realistic for when she's literally doing fucking wrestling moves on gigantic demons. That's great. Thank you. Finally, some realism.
Exactly. Actually, to be fair, Tifa does look like the one character that it might be fun to play as, because her
she's
punching
just
things
belting
does look kind of fun.
It does actually look pretty good.
But the design, obviously, for the main characters has stayed relatively, faithful. They've just modernised them.
I have seen so many zoom-ins on Barrett's hairy chest. That has been, in my neck of the internet, that's been everywhere. He's got a little fuzzy on his neck, and he's got fuzzy Barrett titties. And everyone's just been gushing. And I'm like, hey, that's, Daddy Barrett.
But what the one thing that I really, really appreciate is how all the robots and monsters still look like the goofy robots and monsters from the original, just really up-res. So there's various little robots and things we've seen from the first reactor area, and even the airbuster from the second reactor you go to.
It still looks like a dweeb.
It still looks like a fucking vacuum cleaner, and I'm like, good, thank you, because it would be so easy to make them just look like a modern Final Fantasy robot.
It would be so easy to make them look a bit cooler, but the thing is, that's not what they look like. So, and big props to them for just going, let's just make it the Airbuster look like the fucking Airbuster.
They're goofy, and I really appreciate that. But I'll move on now, because there's lots of other things to talk about.
Okay, good, because I've got good games to talk about, like Doom Eternal. Okay, I don't know if it's going to be good, but I just wanted to dunk on Final Fantasy VII and talk about Doom. I don't care. But yeah, Doom Eternal, that's coming out late this year, I think, and it's looking fine.
It looks like more Doom.
It looks like more Doom 2016. I'll play it. I won't pre-order it again, and I honestly I'm not gonna buy it until maybe a month after it's out, because then all the hype has worn off and actual opinions start coming out.
Yeah, but I think that's that's true for us with a lot of things anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I like the look of the environments. Some of the new mechanics and weapons are interesting. You've got the pain elementals. You've got some zombie chuds in there as well. Yeah. You've got the other weird, maybe a demonic Doomslayer who looks like they're in kind of maybe broken Praetor armor, and they've got the big axe, which is kind of cool.
Well, I don't know. It's like the Cyber Demon from Doom 2016 does have elements of Doomslayer armor.
Yeah, that's another really cool kind of okay, wait, what the fuck? It's just really cool. There's also there's at the end of the trailer there's just a big boy there, and I'm like, ooh.
My
Is that
thing...
gonna be like a Shadow of the Colossus, like hook yourself up its body and keep bashing its head in or something?
That would be cool.
That would be pretty cool.
My big thing with Doom Eternal has been basically from when it was announced was, I hope that it won't just be
more of the same.
Yeah, because I do. The only concern I have with it really is if it's just going to be more of the same, and that might get the sheen of it might wear off. You know, to just release the same game again. But also, it was good gameplay, so that might not be a bad thing either.
Yeah, Doom 2016 has amazing gameplay, so it would be nice to cut. It does look a little bit more kind of like you have a bit more freedom in the areas, are a bit more open topped, letting out your little Doomslayer. But yeah, I remain cautiously optimistic again. Of course, I'm going to be looking into getting that. But yeah, the fucking collector's edition made me froth up the mouth with rage.
Okay.
What's in that?
So you get like a steel plate soundtrack and a lore book and like a lithograph kind of thing. But you also get a wearable Doomslayer helmet. And I'm so fucking mad because I want it.
What, so you go to the shops in it?
I fucking probably would.
Now, I have seen someone wearing it.
I want it.
So, that one looks really good quality. However,
well, Bethesda have proven...
Bethesda canvas bags.
Canvas bags.
So, you know, whilst I think it would be very...
I mean,
it would be unwise for Bethesda to pull the same thing again.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did, though.
Especially
because in the actual preview, it is a CGI helmet. So I'm like, if it looks like that, I want it so much I could shit.
Any idea how much it's going to be?
It's probably going to be over £100, I think. But I'm not... if I was, like, rich, then yeah, I'd go nuts for it. After it had come out, I'd probably be paying some shithead scalper on eBay for it. But yeah, I feel like Collector's Edition is something that should come out, like, a couple of months down the line.
So if you know the game...
So that if you know that you like the game, you can go and splash out on the Collector's Edition. I don't like how it's like, basically, after the game's released, they just stop really making them. It kind of pisses me off.
Well, you know, that's straight up because they want people to spend sight unseen.
Hype. I know. But yeah, I mean, hopefully it'll be good. Who knows? Watch Dogs Legion, which is literally taking place in post-Brexit Britain, which is why everything is fucked. I mean...
There's old women tasing cops. Like, that's exactly what I
love Hacker Grandma. I want Hacker Grandma to tase everyone. She is great.
I've not seen that much about it, but I am legit.
Hacker Grandma.
I am legit kind of interested in it. Partially because I've always meant to get around to playing Watch Dogs 2, because Watch Dogs 1 was like the best game that I had no interest in playing.
Yeah.
Because the story, I could not give a fucking shit about Aiden Pearce.
Aiden Pearce has generic rage. And it had something about his family, or fucking who cares.
But it was like, it had fun ideas, but was it didn't do enough with them. Whereas
was it a bit too po-faced with it?
Yeah, whereas Watch Dogs 2 is apparently basically all the good ideas, but with fun behind it, so it's actually kind of a cool game. And this one, I hope, is the same kind of thing, because I always really like playing games that are set in Britain, because it's always interesting to see how video games adapt British things and British streets.
Yeah.
Because of course they're a lot smaller than like American streets, generally speaking.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have the
way
same kind
shittier and dirtier as well.
I mean, generally.
And it's post-Brexit, so there's going to be a bunch of dead people hanging out in the streets and all that kind of stuff. And, fires. There's going to be people setting fires to bins to keep warm. Yeah, basically what half the country
people
are doing
queuing
now
up for
anyway.
food.
Oh, wait. Anyway. But yeah, again, I'll probably get that on sale. It seems fun. I want to play as Hacker Grandma. She looks fucking badass.
Yeah, again, like all these things, see closer to the time, how they're looking.
Yeah. Next one, Wolfenstein Youngblood. Okay, so this is another one that I'm interested in, because I saw, there was that small pocket of idiots who got really fucking mad because A, you're killing Nazis and they don't like it because Nazis are their friends, and B, women exist.
Yeah, that's a pretty apt
and
summation.
Yeah, if you don't know, you play as Daddy BJ's as his twin daughters.
Yes,
and I love that. They're like basically two. I think it's going to be like a co-op thing.
Yeah, hopefully.
Which I'm a bit like, I hope that's not. I hope that's just a.
I hope it doesn't do a Fear 3.
I hope it doesn't do a Fear 3. But like, I love the idea of playing that co-op. That sounds really cool. And basically, just you and your Nazi killing sister just go through Nazi-ridden, like Nazi sodden Paris, just killing fucking Nazis. And I'm like, what more do you need? I did like a bit of the trailer how, like, you literally, because it's quite visceral, because, you know, killing Nazis
and
has to be. It's Wolfenstein. So there's, like, a bit where one of the sisters grabs a Nazi, like, from behind and just keeps stabbing him in the chest, and it's just set to the beat of the music. So it's like, do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And it's like, okay, that's fucking rad. And that's... Doom Eternal also had a couple of like bullets like firing to the beat of the music as well. So that I like
some
that.
of the new
That's
glory
fun.
kills in Doom Eternal. I forgot to mention it.
But,
some
yeah.
of those do look it's very elaborate, like jamming people's arm bones backwards through the like a demon's head. Like,
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's a thing.
Yeah, but yeah, no, that looks. I mean, I'd say that I think their costumes look really fucking weird. They look like they're vacuum sealed into like Metal Gear 2 special missions background
it's
material.
Like, it's like the suit that Beej gets in the previous one, isn't it?
Yeah. I think there's like little nods to that. But yeah, you get to see Daddy BJ, which is that's a sentence I've said now.
Who now has a beard, so
He has a beard,
fun.
so oof. Yeah, it's good. I'm again gonna leave it until like a month, see how it is.
Yeah.
But yeah. Death Stranding.
See, that wasn't actually... Was there actually anything of that shown at E3, or was it just the stuff that was shown just before E3, so we wouldn't have been able to talk about it last time?
Yeah, maybe. But like, yeah, Death Stranding. Honestly, I just don't give a fuck. I just don't care.
Yeah, but...
It's like, it looks like 3 games smashed together, and then the gameplay that was eventually shown was just a bunch of crouching and moving away from things. And I'm like, so it's literally just... I mean, it's like Metal Gear, but you're in a field and there's nowhere to hide, and you're playing as Norman Reedus, who always looks sticky. And they've managed to translate
Do you mean
to...
he always normally looks sticky in real life or in this specific game?
In real life, I just think... I mean, he seems like a nice guy, but just visually, he always looks sticky. I don't know why. And they've managed to translate that into his 3D model not very well, which is okay, because like, occasionally you see him with long hair and it's not sticky, and I'm like, oh, okay. So he's not playing Sticky Reedus. And yeah, it just feels like 3 different... So there's like the military stuff, and then there's the baby stuff, and then there's Norman Reedus in a field being sticky, being scared about the wind stuff.
Yeah, but you're forgetting. The trailer introduces us to the greatest character, Die Hard Man.
Die Hard Man!
Die Hard Man.
Yes.
Which is basically, if I was a superhero, it would be me. I'd be Die Hard Man, because I'd just go around quoting Die Hard at people. But only the first and second movies, the rest don't exist and are bad.
Yeah, like, the thing when I watched Death Stranding's trailer, I did sit there and I was like, what I wanted from Death Stranding was for it to be completely incomprehensible. Whereas it looks like it has like all these kind of disparate elements, but it looks like it's far too comprehensible, and the core gameplay looks like something that, whilst not necessarily bad, is something I'd personally not be able to deal with.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm actually not I'm not hyped for this game at all anymore.
As a tokophobic, I can't deal with this game at all.
Yes.
Before you have to Google that, it basically means that I think birth and the idea of being pregnant is so genuinely disgusting. It's basically a phobia.
Yeah.
So, like, anything to do with, like, babies or, like, gestational periods or, like, fucking umbilical cords, I'm literally feeling, like, saliva well up on my mouth because I feel really unwell just mentioning those things. I'm just not going to be able to ever go near this game because I'm so disgusted with the thought of that.
Yeah.
And I feel that Kojima is being a shit because he's not appealing completely to me specifically. No, I jest. But like, it's kind of like that's the reason I won't ever play this game.
That's
able to ever watch somebody play this game.
And that's a completely fair.
Which is kind of annoying because it would be nice to be able to at least see what it's all about. But I'm just going to have to like hear from other people.
Yeah, well, I mean, Kojima's games have been a big thing in your life, so you know.
Very much so. Like, spent my formative years basically just playing Metal Gear every day.
Did you ever play Zone of Enders?
No, never played that one.
Huh.
I've never heard a bad word against it though.
Do you want to know the only two Kojima games I've ever beaten?
Snatcher
and Metal Gear 4.
Yeah. And how did you beat Metal Gear 4?
With a shotgun.
And a railgun.
Yep.
You ran out of enemies on the tankard at the end.
The geckos just weren't there anymore.
They just stopped spawning because they think it must have been like, stop farming points. But yeah, so it's basically just Kojima's made his own Mads Mikkelsen pornography. Where he's like, I want to be a baby that Mads Mikkelsen sings like nursery rhymes to, and ta-da, he's got it.
Look, Kojima just wants to be swaddled by Mads Mikkelsen and rocked to sleep. Is that so wrong?
I think Drummer Matt is in exactly the same boat.
I'm game.
Yeah, I did. I'm. That is in no means a statement of judgment.
You get that with the collector's edition.
Oh fuck yeah.
Okay, that is the one collector's edition you're allowed to pre-order.
Mads Mikkelsen will personally come to your house, swaddle you, sing you a nursery rhyme, and give you a kiss on the forehead. See, I'm not even into him like that, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'd take it.
So there's a few little other things that I wanted to mention that are not things like to really talk about like in any detail unless someone wants to.
Well, you've not mentioned the two that I was going to mention yet, so I'm intrigued as to what these are. So
there's a Breath of the Wild sequel that's been announced.
Yes.
That looks like a lot darker.
It's a gritty reimagining.
A bit of a Majora's Mask vibe to it. Which, I mean, I'm not having a Switch. I've not played Breath of the Wild. I would like to play it.
I want to pick up a Switch.
There is lots more reasons to buy a Switch at this E3.
Yeah, no.
And as if there wasn't enough already.
Pokemon.
But you get to play as Zelda in a mainline.
I'm going to stop you there. You've always been able to play it. Zelda's the main character.
Okay. I know what you're doing.
That's Zelda.
I know what you're doing. And it's such a common joke that it shouldn't annoy me, but it still kind of does.
Yeah, it's not funny, and then it got funny again, and now it's been so long, it's definitely not funny again.
I don't care.
But it is still annoying, so I presume it still fulfills the reason that you said it.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. So
Thank
you know,
you've fed my trolling.
So now we
instincts.
can move
Thank
on.
you. Move on, please.
But yeah, you can play as Zelda, which I don't think has been something you could do in a mainline Zelda game.
I will say, in my neck of the internet, people are very interested in Zelda, and also they're convinced that in this game you'll be able to do kissing with Shark Husband from the other one.
I have heard that Shark Husband is very kissable. I can't speak for that myself, having not played it.
But he does seem pretty kissable.
Yeah. There is also, and this is something I just really want to mention quickly. So, do you remember how, like, many years ago, it was like a meme that Battletoads was a good game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many people have actually sat down and played it, and Battletoads is way better than it has any right to be, but it's also impossible. It's like absurdly hard to play, and when you play it co-op, which is like the most fun way to play it, you also can hurt each other, and basically every mechanic in the game is made to make it easy to hurt each other. So it's like a complete pain in the arse to play, but it has lots of interesting ideas. But I wouldn't say it's good.
I like the way the new one looks.
Yeah, because they're releasing a new one that is like properly like. I mean, it'll be done on a computer, but it's like hand animated. So they've got like really nice fluid animation to them. So all the distort, because like the Battletoads would like their hands and feet would like distort to be different shapes when they kicked and punched people. So they can really emphasize that, and it just looks kind of neat. It looks cool. I don't know if the game will be any good, and I'm not the biggest like player of brawlers, so it might not be. You know, it might be good, it might not be, and I probably wouldn't be a good gauge of it. But it looks interesting, so I thought I'd mention it. There's also Psychonauts 2, which is cool.
Oh yeah, you've played a good bit of Psychonauts.
I never completed the original Psychonauts.
Neither did I. I played it for the first few hours and then just kind of stopped.
Yeah, and I don't know why, because I was enjoying it.
It's exactly what I was going to say about this.
And I've always meant to go back and play it, so this might be the thing that actually gives me the kick up the arse to actually go back and complete the original game. I do remember one fun thing about playing the original in the modern day is that because of the advances in technology, it means that it's one of those games where the cutscenes use the in-game graphics, but nowadays look astronomically worse because they're just encoded video files that are low resolution compared to the 1080 60 FPS gameplay. So you just get to see cutscenes at like a low encoding, like 800 by 600 like video, and you're like, okay, this looks a bit weird. But yeah, I'm very interested to play through the first one again so I can know what's going on for Psychonauts 2, because I was enjoying it, and like you, I just stopped playing it for no good reason. The only other thing I was going to mention, so I presume, Matt, you're going to mention a couple of things.
Yes.
Since you're talking about Switch stuff.
Sorry, I've just read in the notes, Hidetaka Miyazaki and Gur Marting.
Oh wow! Yeah, I did write Marting.
not fucking.
No, I'm just going to leave that.
Not George R. Martin. It was Gur Marting.
Well, the Gur makes sense because it's just GRR.
Yeah, but it's weird.
Yeah, the G on the end. The G on the end. I would say that I meant to hit a full stop, but that's a good like 6 keys away from it.
Yeah, you fucked up hard.
So that I don't know what was going on there. Anyway, Elden Ring is a game by Hidetaka Miyazaki and
Gur
George
Marting.
Gur Marting, otherwise known by his pseudonym George R. Martin.
He was the one who did the playing with chairs. Yeah, the TV show, Musical Chairs, the TV show, but the chair is like big and angry and metal, and there's occasionally a dragon that screams at things, and then everyone gets angry at the last series because it's bad, or there's only like one chair, and playing the musical chairs, and then like Harry Mason's in it and he dies. You're just letting me. You're giving me all the rope I need to hang myself.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm doing. Yes, the man who wrote Game of Thrones.
Yep, that's the boy. Good Martin.
There's just like a trailer, because Hidetaka Miyazaki, if you don't know, is the guy that is responsible for Dark Souls.
Okay.
And the trailer just shows a bunch of people who are cracking. Like bits of them cracking, a bunch of stuff that I presume is a Berserk
I thought
reference.
you were just saying, "Oh, they were cracking." Ooh, I would.
No, they're like
I thought
stone
you were, like,
cracking.
saying that they were handsome or something.
No, they're like they are stone statues that are humans moving, but they're also cracking. And yeah, stuff that I presume is a Berserk reference. I have no proof that it is a Berserk reference, but when something looks like it's alluding to something, and it's Miyazaki, I assume it's a Berserk reference. But yes, that's a thing that exists, and it's just I mentioned solely because if you were to tell me, even before I watched the trailer, that Miyazaki and Martin were going to do something together, I'd go, what? Why?
Yeah, why was Marting hanging out
Why
with Miyazaki?
was Gur Marting?
Why was Gur Marting hanging out with Miyazaki?
Yeah, I know, it's weird.
I mean, I'm interested to see what they come out with.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see it. I mean, I don't necessarily. That's not something where I'm sitting there and going like, "That's definitely going to be great." It's just, I'm on board for the ride at this point. It's a bit like, I mean, you know, it's like the Death Stranding thing. Like, I was not necessarily interested in the story. It was more like the combination of people involved. I was like, well, I want to see what they come up with.
Yeah.
You gotta see what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I was going to mention. So, does anyone else have anything they wanted to bring up from E3?
Yeah, I've got a couple.
Okay.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh yeah, I was meaning to mention.
I was just
that.
like, why are none of you mentioning this?
Okay, so
Well, me because I don't give a shit about Baldur's Gate.
So like a little.
But you
while
do now
ago-
because you play D&D.
Yeah, but like a little while ago, I saw that there was a 3 on the page for Divinity Original Sin 2 for Larian Studios, and people were sitting there going, "What the fuck does that mean?" And at E3, it's like Baldur's Gate 3, and I'm like, I never really played the original Baldur's Gates, and I'm not interested. But if Larian are making it,
Yeah,
I
it's gonna
like
be
the way they do
Divinity
RPGs,
Original Sin, but set in the D&D universe.
which I love. And isn't it interesting how they're releasing like a pre-D&D campaign for the tabletop?
Who are they? Oh, I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
for this.
That's fucking rad.
Yeah,
actually.
I know.
That's cool. That's
It's
cool.
like, fuck. Okay, I guess I gotta play it now.
Yeah, that's actually very cool. Because my memories of Baldur's Gate are largely
Getting angry about picking a wizard.
picking a wizard, getting murdered by a bloke in a stable, then playing a physical character, and then getting half my party murdered by a wizard. When I got to like the big town that you're directed to go to, and then I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Admittedly, I had never played or
The
knew
big
anything
unnamed
about.
town in Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, what could it be?
I don't actually remember if it was Baldur's Gate. Was it? I don't know. I literally don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Baldur's Saloon.
No, I mean as in I don't know if because I don't remember the
Neverwinter,
storyline
probably.
at all.
Yeah.
I presume
Skyrim?
there is more than one place in Baldur's Gate. I wasn't going to assume.
Oh, we're just teasing you, honey.
You're just being dicks, sorry.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're just
you
being
are.
fucking dicks. No, it's Rivellon, actually, but get good.
But yeah,
Yeah, that looks. I mean, I enjoyed the first two, and I still haven't played Divinity Original Sin, either of them.
It's literally on sale right now for like 18 quid, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it. You need to buy it, otherwise I'll cry at you until you like drown.
Yeah, but okay.
No buts!
this is a no buts podcast.
No
Okay.
buts podcast unless I bring them up.
We explicitly are not a no buts podcast.
No.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's fair.
moving on. The possibly more important thing. No one's mentioned the new flight simulator game.
Shit, you're right. How can we legally call ourselves gamers?
There's not been one since I think 2006 off the top of my head, and since then I have driven a lot of Euro Truck Simulator, and my favourite part of basically any game that has a plane in it is flying the plane. So I'm so excited for this.
Sorry. So my favourite part of any game with a plane in it is flying the plane, and my brain just like basically contextually filled that in of any flight simulator. Your favourite part of that is flying the plane. I'm like, yeah, what the fuck else is
probably
there?
also true.
You see, now I'm thinking of the. I'm thinking that if flying the plane in any game is your favourite part, then Grand Theft Auto 3 must be the most frustrating game you have ever played in your life.
Yeah, because you can only fly the plane with the wings chopped off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it called the
yeah, see, I
Dum-Dum?
remember.
It's
And
called the
it
Dum-Dum.
can only kind of like glide a bit.
Yep, I knew what you're talking about because that was incredibly frustrating.
He likes the games where you can fly the plane.
And you could barely fly the plane.
But like Just Cause, fairly average game, but you get to fly planes around. That's good. Grand Theft Auto 5 was good, made better by flying planes. Yeah,
I can't actually argue with this.
I've been accidentally getting more and more into flying planes in games, and I've not played a flight simulator game since. I haven't had the most recent one, which I think I said was 2006, but I've had a flight simulator game before then at some point, and used to enjoy it as a kid. So now it's like all the things are aligning, and it looks amazing.
Well, I'm glad because personally, I think my eye when I saw that on the list, my eyes like slid off it. Like
Your eyes
it was
literally fell
really
out of your
hard.
skull.
It
It
was
was
really
weird.
hard to even read the title. Like I could feel sleep.
I mean, yeah, no,
Like-
I entirely get that. But I'm going to sink so many hours into this, probably.
No, honestly, I am. If it is something you're going to enjoy, then I'm glad.
I can't believe we haven't named the most anticipated game of the year. The most anticipated expansion of the year. Something that people literally will kill another human being for. Sims 4 Island Paradise expansion.
Ah, yes.
Finally, after years of probably waiting, we get to dress them up in grass skirts and coconut bras.
Isn't there like 40 fucking packs?
Yeah, and they're all like 15 quid on sale because EA is a nightmare company. But yeah, I just wanted to make the joke of The Sims.
I wonder with the modern Sims stuff, do they all work together, or is it like The Sims 1, where if you had too many add-on packs installed, it starts to break?
Thing is, nowadays, I don't know, because Sims 3 was a big problem where I've seen multiple people who... You remember that weird error I had before we upgraded?
Which one?
Okay, that one that meant that I literally couldn't play the game at all. It wouldn't even boot.
I was
Okay.
going to say which one again, but
But it was the one that I literally
Yeah.
before I could even play it.
yeah.
I literally remember spending like a good couple of weeks just every day, spending like an hour or two trawling forums, trying to figure out how to fix it. And there were people who were like, this is my 6th copy of the game, and it still won't work. And every time I message EA, they just go, oh, try a fresh install. And spoiler alert, that didn't work for fucking anyone, and they didn't care because you'd already bought the game.
Yeah.
I feel the Sims 4 might be a bit better because the actual game loads very quickly, unlike the Sims 3, which takes forever. But I think that's just because they've removed so much base game content that should have been there to try and sell it back to you that there's barely anything in it.
Maybe that's all that happens is the load time just gets to back to Sims 3 levels if you have all 40 add-on packs.
If you have the full game, basically.
If you...
But yeah, anyway,
Yeah.
we're not talking about that. But yeah, that's I think that's everything.
We should mention as well, because wow, that took a lot longer to talk about than was originally planned.
Yeah.
This was not going to be like an E3 special episode, but I guess we spent like 40 fucking minutes talking about it, so I guess it is now.
Yeah, whoops.
Surprise. Because we later are going to be talking about our D&D campaign that has
Yes!
finally started.
We've
Yes.
started our D&D campaign properly with Ash as the dungeon master, and we will be gushing about that after we've discussed what we've done and before the questions.
So yeah, that's fun. But we'll talk a little bit about what we've been up to first.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Snipe.
It me.
I don't know how we're doing these voices, but it's you. What have you been up to?
I've been up to a few things.
A few things?
We've got a few shared things. Went to see Godzilla, King of the Monsters
Yeah.
in 3D.
Which
Ugh.
The thing is, like, I looked on the website and it didn't tell me it was in 3D, and then when we got there, that was the only showing for 4 hours, so we were like, guess we're gonna have to fucking see it now,
The only way they can get you into 3D showings nowadays is by tricking you into it.
basically.
You know, do you want to just talk about Godzilla now? Because I was going to talk about it in mine, but shall we just back talk
Wow,
about it
okay.
here?
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna spoil anything, I'm just gonna say that I found it enjoyable.
Yeah. So,
I think it was a lot better than the first one.
Well, it wasn't boring. So yeah.
Spicy. Fucking spicy, boy.
No, like there are good parts to Godzilla 2014, especially
Yeah, there's that one shot of the Halo jump that's okay,
Ooh, that's
and then
a
there's
beautiful
the
shot.
Godzilla atomic breaths into a monster's mouth, which is cool, but that's literally the only good
Those
parts.
are the two
of
bits
that
I
movie.
remember.
Out of like the 2 hours, there's like 20 seconds.
Yeah,
which are like, yeah, pretty
it's
good.
very slow with boring human characters and the good human characters it doesn't focus on very much. They mostly fixed that in the second one by not having interesting human characters at all, but focusing on the monsters
That's
way
not
more.
a fix.
I'm being flippant. It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
To be fair, I found like the only human characters I liked was, I think her name was Chen, Serizawa, and I can't remember her name, but she's a military lady, which when she appeared on screen, I literally turned around to Wib and elbowed him and went, now, I'm straight as an arrow, but damn! She was fucking gorgeous, and she honestly, she looked like she could break my neck, and that was awesome. And Millie Bobby Brown's character as well was pretty good, because, she's a good actress.
Yeah, what we'll say, just a quick thing about 3D. So I saw like a bunch of stuff in this time, the modern 3D. I saw a bunch of stuff using that years and years
They
and years ago.
call it like Real D or something. It's kind of
Yeah,
weird.
but like the modern technology as opposed to like the old, I can't remember what it's called.
Stereo.
The old, red and blue or red and green 3D. The newer stuff obviously doesn't use that. And I'd seen a load of stuff using the newer 3D technology at like Disney World and Universal Studios things years and years before it became like popular in cinemas. So I was familiar with the tech. And so I've only ever actually seen 2 movies in the cinema at 3D, one of which was Godzilla.
It was in Terminator 2
Yeah.
was like the only viewing available was 3D because for some fucking reason.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, when I saw it with Terminator, I was like, well, that was converted to be 3D. So the fact that it was sort of irrelevant, and I completely just stopped paying attention to it after like 15 minutes.
Because your eyes adjust,
was
basically.
probably because it wasn't originally intended for that, so it's not going to be the best effect. And then to go and watch a movie that was released explicitly in 3D from the beginning, and I still stopped noticing it after like the first 15 minutes.
Yeah,
like, I'm sitting there going, wow, 3D is completely pointless. Maybe it's just because I know some people get more of a definition than others, and
I mean, you had your like glasses on, and then you had the 3D glasses over them.
Yeah.
So that
So
probably...
I have to do that now.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not the best perception, but I know for me, 3D is utterly worthless.
I mean, it's a fun gimmick for like the first 20 minutes, but then my eyes adjust and I don't notice it.
All it meant is that some things in the background were not quite in focus for me anymore, and I'm like, oh, good.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm not a fan of, because like, especially in like 3D, it's really obvious, because I'm like a background, like I like looking in the background while people are talking. I'm just notoriously distracted. And then, like, it'll kind of hurt my eyes because it's, like, forced focus. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm staring at fucking this guy then.
But moving on from a horrible critique of modern cinema's attempts to try and get people to actually go to a theatre as opposed to just watch things on Netflix. I will say, I really enjoyed King of the Monsters.
I thought it was very fun.
I absolutely adore the redesign and characterization of Ghidorah.
Ghidorah was great.
Like, he's like actually kind of menacing and is a threat, because one of the problems with Ghidorah being like a reoccurring threat in the old Godzilla films is that he got his arse handed to him repeatedly.
Oh, yeah.
So he stopped being a threat. I think the culmination of that was in Destroy All Monsters, where at the end, about 10 monsters just curb stomp him, and it's actually it's like, if it wasn't so silly, it would be kind of unsettling to watch like a bunch of monsters just murder him. Like, as a gang, it's like kind of fucked up when you think about it.
I liked there was a lot of subtle nods to Godzilla canon as well.
Oh yeah, they refer to Ghidorah as Monster Zero, which I was like, fucking yeah!
Yeah, that was cool. There's a bunch of new kind of monsters in there that...
Yeah, there's another Muto in it.
Yeah, which is like, I mean, I guess you got.
There's a weird mammoth.
There's like a mammoth
thing.
I liked that one because you looked at it and go, I can imagine a dude in a suit.
Like a mammoth gorilla hybrid.
Yeah, it was kind of spooky, but yeah.
Actually, it looks like a bipedal. Well, not bipedal, because it was walking like a gorilla, but like a more primate-looking version of that big thing that ogres have in Age of Sigmar. They have a big like thing with huge tusks.
Yeah.
It looks a little like that.
Yeah. But yeah, there's like, again, loads of like nice little nods. And
they used the Godzilla theme, the original Godzilla theme.
It was cool.
And the original Mothra theme.
The Mothra song, yeah.
Which I was really, really happy about.
Is Mothra in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mothra's in it, spoilers, even though I think she's in the
trailer,
so it's fine. There's a nice little bit with that. I'm not going to spoil. Also, the fucking end song, it was a cover of Blue Oyster Cult's Godzilla. Sorry, Blue Oyster's Cult. Because umlauts are metal or whatever, but no one actually pronounces them. Yeah. And, like, it's a cover of it by basically Surge and Death Clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, fucking, what's his name?
So it's
Surge Tankian or whatever. I can't remember how to pronounce his last name.
I think that's right.
Yeah, like, and fucking Death Clock.
Yeah, it's like Brendan Small and Gene Hogan, who are like the main people behind Death Clock's music. So, yeah.
And it's honestly awesome.
There's a few other people, but I didn't catch their names in the credits, because when it went past and I saw Surge, and then I was like, okay, that's weird. And then Brendan Small and Gene Hoglan. It's not Hogan, it's Hoglan. But yeah, it was like, okay.
And I have had that song stuck in my head for days.
It's so fucking weird.
It's pretty awesome. But yeah, no, yeah, I thought it was good. It was a lot of fun. Way more interesting than the first movie. They seem to learned from all the mistakes they made. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the thing of all the Godzilla attempts to create Godzilla or Godzilla-like movies in the West. I will say I think this is the one that actually comes the closest to being accurate. Like, feeling like watching this is very much like what it's basically what would it be like if they made like a Showa era Godzilla film now, because it has obviously the fancy effects, and straight up there is some stuff in this that is stuff that would be impossible to do with suits, and I like, that's fucking great. But all of the like tropes, like, you know, monsters fighting each other, humans running around doing stuff that's, you know, forwards the plot and does affect things, but really,
It's just to
whatever.
like stop it from being constantly monsters.
Yeah, it's focusing. There's a lot more heavy focus on the monsters, and there's stuff referencing it. Like, I'm gonna give, let's say they go to a place that is a place that is a mythological place, and they don't even acknowledge it as being weird. Like, it's just, oh, I guess we're here now, and that is, I half expected fucking Megalon to show up. It's fucking ridiculous. And I can't.
But they take it well. They're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this is silly, but we're just gonna take it and just run with it.
They've got like a giant fucking stealth bomber that births other planes. It's like it is so old school Godzilla in its sensibilities of just embracing the silliness of stuff that, despite the fact that the film having problems, it's not perfect, but it's fun. And to me, that, like, Godzilla movies in general, you don't watch them to be perfect movies. You watch them to be these imperfect, kind of silly, but just fun movies. Just these little romps. And I was also glad that Rodan wasn't just... Okay, this is going to sound weird. Rodan wasn't the Baragon of this movie.
Oh, I want Baragon in a movie, and I want them to use the suit actors.
Because, yeah, in there's a movie called... a similar movie in some ways, in general setup, called Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack. Yes, it is the worst name of any movie ever. It's like SEO as a title.
Thin, sexy stockings, women's, men's, daylight,
Yeah.
summers, flowers, happy parade.
Yeah. And in that, like, Baragon is also supposed to be just as important as the rest of them, yet isn't in the title of the movie, and is just used to get murdered early on in the movie to show how badass Godzilla is.
Aww.
And I kind of assumed that's what Rodan would be in this movie, and they're not. Actually, Rodan gets a chance to be kind of cool.
My only problem with Rodan in this movie is that he doesn't cough.
Yeah, Rodan occasionally in the old movies does a
He
weird...
just goes...
Yeah, he does he has like a screech, but he does like a weird cough version of it.
He's
sometimes.
got like, yeah, he needs
a
like a
bit weird.
fisherman's friend or something.
He doesn't do that. But no, designs are really cool. Even the really different version of Mothra I really kind of like. Because it's way more actually like a weird insect. I actually really like the design of Mothra. Yeah. I liked it. Not perfect, but I liked it. And how was it to watch for someone who has only picked up Godzilla stuff, like, by the background radiation of being around me?
No pun intended.
Yeah.
I liked it. Thought it was fun.
Good.
So can I continue with what I've done? This
You can't stop talking about Godzilla and not expect me to, you know, run rampant on it. It's like one of the 3 things I actually know about.
Kind of scared to mention what else I've been up to, honestly. In case it's just what has Wib done this week. Good Omens?
That's a bad thing to choose as the second one.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. I was just like, yeah, I'm going to get Wib jumping into my section as well, I think.
I love Good Omens of the book so much.
Okay.
Shall we do that now as well?
Yeah, okay, go on, Wib.
I get 2 segments. I don't actually, because this is literally the only other thing I had to talk about.
So you've just forced your way into my segment.
I'm-
Yeah, I guess you're going first then. Okay,
I guess I'm
Wib,
going first.
Wib, what else have you been up to apart from Godzilla?
I watched the Amazon series of Good Omens.
Shit, me too, but you tell me how you feel about it first. How's that?
It's not my fault you chose them in that order.
I'm sorry I wrote it down like that, just not thinking. Forgive me for not critically laying out my topics, you dick.
So Good Omens is a book by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman written in, I believe, 1990. It is a very good book that I love a lot because as a big Pratchett fan, just having something of his that isn't explicitly Discworld, like I was always interested to read those things. Like I really like the Truckers and Diggers books. I've been meaning to read Dodger, actually. I've got that and I haven't read it yet. But yeah, Good Omens is a very good book about the end of the world and angels and demons and stuff.
Holding hands and whistling Dixie.
Mostly, yeah. And they made a new adaptation of it with Michael Sheen and David Tennant as the main characters.
Fantastic casting, by the way.
And and it's an Amazon original series, which meant that I had to watch something on Amazon Prime, which I was not happy about. Because their player is shit.
And they advertise to you. It's not like, buy this soap. It's like, it's literally adverts for fucking other Amazon Prime series.
You don't have to advertise Amazon Prime to me on Amazon Prime. I have spent money on Amazon Prime. Fuck you.
It's like, look,
Yeah,
we've already
I
made a
totally
mistake.
also got that when I watched it on the Amazon Prime app that I have.
Yes, I'm sure.
Moving on.
But I can honestly say that this is my favourite adaptation of something Pratchett has done. And
Okay.
I'm just surprised David Jason didn't force his way into playing Crowley. Christ on us.
That's taken a...
David Jason's like, I'm playing Adam.
Because yes, the Discord adaptations were... Some of them were fine, but there was always something about them that kind of... Yeah, I wasn't super keen on. But yeah, and I think this is about as good an adaptation as Good Omens as could be made. I actually legit don't know what they could do to make it be better. Really, really, really enjoyed it. And yeah, casting was great. Only mild annoyance is that not only did we get official pronunciations of the names from the book, but because Neil Gaiman was so involved with the production, I can't just pretend that my own internal pronunciations of them are correct.
I think Crowley sounds way... That's just a name, whereas Crowley is... that's stupid.
Yeah, I always assumed it was supposed to be Crowley, because Alice Crowley. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's dumb.
But yeah.
But whatever. I mean, that's... If Neil Gaiman is pronouncing his own shit wrong...
Yeah, I can't argue with him. He wrote like half of it, so...
I am going to argue with Neil Gaiman.
Okay, so Matt, have you read the book?
I have not, and I haven't watched the whole series, actually. I'll just mention that now. I've only watched the first, I think, 3 episodes.
Okay.
Um,
What do you feel about the inclusion of Queen?
I mean, adding Queen to anything is always a good thing.
Does it seem weird?
No, should
See,
it?
I was thinking it probably wouldn't seem weird to somebody who doesn't know.
Yeah, okay, so I'll give a minor spoiler for the book, but it's not in the series, so it doesn't really matter.
But it is that the Queen music is a reference to it.
Because in his Bentley that Crowley drives, any tape that is left in it, because it was written in the 90s, so before CDs, before CDs were common in cars. Every tape that he puts in there over time eventually becomes the best of Queen, regardless of what he puts in it.
Amazing.
So the fact that Queen is playing constantly through it is just a reference to that. I was also looking to see if they'd make a reference to the fact that it is stated that the only time Crowley has ever refueled that car was once in the 70s to get a small bullet hole sticker that was like a licensing things for a James Bond movie that he kind of liked. That's the only time he's ever had to refuel it. So I was wondering if they'd put a little bullet hole sticker somewhere on it just as a reference to that. But I didn't see it. Maybe they did, but I would have liked it if they'd done that. But yeah, really great, and also not surprised that they kind of amped up Aziraphale and Crowley being a little bit of a couple.
Oh my god! I think Michael Sheen literally stated that he played Aziraphale as if he was in love with Crowley, and I'm like, they're obviously just the ultimate married couple, and oh my god, they're so perfect together.
It does show, and I'm actually totally okay with that as an interpretation. I never particularly got
really
that.
It is really pure and lovely.
I didn't get that from the book, but I did first read it, as a teenage boy, incredibly concerned about his sexuality, so I probably wouldn't have noticed that even if it was in my face.
Yeah. But no, it was... I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah, it was just kind of sweet. It was nice. I liked it. And
They're basically just an old couple holding hands in the park.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that makes me happy.
Yeah, it's very pure. I like it.
Yeah, it's lovely. But no, I thought it was incredibly well done, very entertaining, and Drummer Matt, you will enjoy the rest of it, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I really enjoy. So my thoughts on it, if just I'm jumping into Woob's section on Snipe's section. I love the animated intro sequence is
so
beautiful.
Cool.
They
It's
are
so
hecking
weird.
chonkers.
So cool.
Yeah, they are chonky boys, but it actually really works, and I just think it's very fun to watch.
Yeah. I'm going to withhold judgment for the whole thing, and I'll probably mention something next time because I'll have finished it by then.
Yeah.
I am enjoying it. My slight weirdness about it, and it's not even really a criticism. The feel of it is very similar to a series of unfortunate events. I don't know what there is about it, but when I'm watching it, and I don't know if it's just because I've only watched a few episodes and I haven't fully got into it yet, but I'm just kind of watching it thinking, this is cool, but it just reminds me of this other show that was just kind of better. And I don't know. It's a weird one. I'm like, because I'm really enjoying it, but I'm just at the back of my mind, I'm just sort of subconsciously or not subconsciously because I'm aware of it, but like, I can't get this thought just out the back of my mind, little niggly feeling that I could be watching a series of unfortunate events, and that's really weird because when I try to think about it, I'm like, but I am enjoying this, and it is good, and it is different, obviously, and I just can't work out why I can't get this little niggly feeling out the back of my head, which is interesting.
So that reminds me of like. I think the problem with, for example, The Surge, the game that's very much like Dark Souls, is...
which is getting a sequel.
That is getting a sequel, yes. And
I can't remember if that's E3 news or not, but...
I think it was announced at E3, actually. Yeah, shit, I forgot about that, because that's actually something I'm looking forward to, because I really like The Surge
To be fair, I'm pretty sure nobody tunes in for our scolding hot gamer takes.
But I've...
if that helps any.
But I do feel that one of the thing when you're dealing with a game like The Surge, you kind like a lot of people have it kind of ruined for them by playing it and going, this is like Dark Souls, but not quite as good. And it means that because Dark Souls is so good, that it means that anything that's kind of like it becomes sort of worse when you compare it. So you have to try and get rid of that comparison out your head to appreciate it for what it actually is, as opposed to comparing it. And you might be having a similar thing, because I know you really like Series of Unfortunate Events.
Oh yeah, so. I highly recommend that to anyone. But yeah, no, it's weird. Because I am really enjoying it. I just can't get this nigga. Maybe I'll keep going with it, and then we'll see what I feel at the end.
Yeah,
it doesn't help. I think it would have been better if I read the book. I never got around to reading that book, so I think if I was coming into it from that, I probably would have seen it as its own thing.
Well, I mean, if you want to borrow the book, because I might happen to have one from 1990.
Nice, I will do. I've almost finished the Discord ones. I think I'm getting there. So
I'm just glad someone else is getting a chance to read through all those the many books I have collected over the years.
So, am I allowed to talk about what I've been doing?
Yes, please continue your section.
Thank you.
It's fine. All my stuff's gone now, so I don't even have a section anymore.
How does that feel? Oh, don't tell me. I already know.
Oh. I'll just be quiet in the corner and just sip my tea that is non-existent now. Okay.
Pretend to sip tea.
Yeah, I'll pretend to sip tea.
Yeah, okay. So I've also been playing Chaosbane. Which is the new Warhammer game. Full disclosure, it was gifted to us by the devs, so...
Was it really gifted? It's more given.
Given, they just emailed us and was like, take it, shitheads, or something. Paraphrasing, of course. But yeah.
Take it,
I really want them to have said that.
It's like, hey, fuckos, get this down, yeah. Fuck you, hyphen the dev team. But yeah, it's the new Diablo kind of like dungeon crawly game.
Diablo, should be clear that's what you mean.
No, I'm going to keep saying Diablo until people forget that Diablo is a game.
That's not going to happen, it just means people don't know what you're saying.
Well, that remains to be seen. But yeah, it's like Diablo, and I quite like Diablo 3, so yeah. I quite like Chaosbane. Yeah, it's pretty much the same as how I played it at Warhammer Fest, where, you've got your 4 characters and whatnot. And I thought I'd play some of the... we did a Snipe and we'd play on it.
Ooh.
And, yeah, which we haven't done in a while. But yeah, I played an Imperial Soldier, which is... I can't remember his name, but I'm kind of internally always referring to him as Kruber. Because they look basically the fucking same.
And the devs totally didn't tell you off for saying that at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. But, like, I'd say the story is fine. That's the thing, I don't know much about the Warhammer Fantasy story, even though I wrote it. It's been a while. But it seems fine. It's kind of like... I think it takes place in the end times.
No, it doesn't. It's set like 100 years before that, I think.
Oh shit, it is, yeah,
it's
no,
set
you're
in
right.
proper Warhammer Fantasy, as opposed to like
yeah,
end times or Sigmar.
Yeah, that was it. I literally corrected you last podcast about that. I should have known. But yeah, no, I like it. It's enjoyable. It's been a lot of sewer systems so far, is my only real complaint.
It's not a real video game unless the first levels are in sewers.
Yeah, there's like a couple of things where, like, just technical stuff where I play left-handed, so I use my arrow keys. So I have like, delete end and page down and like KP1 is like my abilities. And if you press page down, it just brings up the chat menu and it doesn't do what you want to do even after you've rebound it. So that's a big fucking annoyance for me. It's more of just like a quality of life irritation. But otherwise, yeah, no, it's solid. It's done. It seems to have taken like the good points from Diablo, like 3, and just kind of gone, how do we make this a little bit more interesting? So there's like one which is kind of annoys me sometimes, where if you get a new piece of gear, it'll just auto equip if it's better. Sometimes, and I'm like, I don't like that. I like to sit there for 10 minutes eyeing up my gear.
I wonder if you can turn that off in the options, actually.
Probably, I don't know, I haven't checked. But, like, no, I like it, it's interesting. And I'm gonna keep playing it. I don't know if they have, like Diablo 3 has basically like a non-story mode where you just go in and dungeon crawl and do a bunch of shit for, like, gear, and it's just, like, no story at all. And
I think it might have that, actually.
I think it might, but I can't say for sure if it does, because I haven't checked. Maybe it'll be active after I've completed it, but no, I'm enjoying that and I'm looking forward to playing more.
Oh, I would like to add one little thing.
Yeah.
Just because, we've done a Snipe and Wood play on it, which, if everything has gone correctly, should be out by the time you hear this. I know the last two of those, which were like 2 months, or more than that, like three or 4 months apart, were both on Warhammer games. We're not only doing Warhammer games now. It's just we've not gotten around to them, and we were going to do one this month anyway, and it just happened that we got the code for Chaosbane and thought that would be the most apt thing to do. So we're not just doing Warhammer games for those anymore, and we should hopefully get back to doing them once a month from now on, which will be on all sorts. I just wanted to say that because I realised that it probably looks like we're just exclusively Warhammer channel now, which we're not.
Yeah.
It's just kind of happened that way.
It's just the way it's happened, exactly. That's pretty much it, apart from I've been playing some Pokemon Quest on my phone.
Ooh, what's that?
It's like this little Pikachu game where you get some Pokemon buddies, and then the story is like you have a Pokemon buddy and you have like a little like drone that follows them around, and you can like pick their attacks and stuff. It's kind of like a dungeon crawler.
Okay.
Where you go in there and you go beat up a bunch of enemy Pokemon, and then you beat the level, and then it gives you like a next level where, and you could equip like power stones and defense stones, and you make soup, like Pokemon stew, so you can attract Pokemon to be your buddies.
Is it made of Pokemon?
As I say, when you say Pokemon stew...
It's made of like berries and stuff, so like you basically make Pokemon food, and then a Pokemon will come and eat, like be attracted by the smell of the food and then be your friend.
Okay.
So, like, but you need to get berries, which you get on the dungeon crawls, and, like, the stew kind of takes, like, so many full, like, dungeon completions before it's ready, which also is pretty cool, because if you die, if you have, like, a party wipe, it still counts as a completion. And, like, you get, like, every half an hour you get 1 battery power back, and, like, that means you can have 1 dungeon run, so it's very obviously a mobile game. But it's pretty generous with its like premium currency, so it's just been a nice little kind of battery drainer for me over the past like week or so. Yeah, well, it's been fun. But yeah, and that's basically all I've been doing. and all Wib's been doing, apparently. But yeah, Drummer Matt, what have you been up to?
I have been playing Monster Hunter World.
Ah.
I think. I've been interacting with the game. I'm not sure if I'm playing it properly.
It is really confusing and it's really bad at explaining itself.
So you're booting the game up and pushing buttons.
Yeah, I'm killing some monsters, but I'm... so I think I'm doing the right thing, but I'm...
Well, it is called Monster Hunter, so...
Yeah, I'm finding it hard to get any feedback. I'm enjoying it, but I'm fully aware that it's going to take me many hours to get used to what on earth is happening.
Yeah, it's that sort of game.
Yeah, but I am enjoying it. Like the combat feels because I like that you get. So there's. Have you spoken about this? I know you've played it, Snipe. Have you both played it?
Yeah, we both played
I've
it.
played a bit more of it.
I can't remember how much you've talked about it on the podcast, so I don't want to go into it in too much details if you already have.
I'm pretty sure we have talked about it on the podcast, but it was a while ago. When it came
I do-
out,
It was a good while ago.
So I do like that you get to choose between different weapons, and they all feel very different. So eventually, when I looked up how to compare them, I was like, "Oh, there's a training mode you can go into and go and play with them all." So this is useful. And they all feel very different. So I picked one I like, which happens to be the two blades. I like how quick it is.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going with.
Was it? Oh, nice. I think it's probably the beginner weapon, to be honest. But that's you mean I've never played a Monster Hunter game before, so I'm fine with that.
Well, like it does have a relatively high skill ceiling because you need to know when to hit. So I say, trying not to sound offended.
Yeah, but I'm really enjoying it. Running around, I'm getting a bit. Once you get, I'm a bit confused at the moment. So when you're hunting down a specific big monster, like it's once you've first found a footstep, you can follow them, and then the more footsteps you get, the easier it is to track the next footstep. But so far, I spent a lot of each mission, which are timed. You've got like a certain set down there.
I think everything, like, there's a timer of like 90 minutes on everything.
Yeah. And I spent a lot of the chunk of the time each time trying to find out where the odds start with, which I guess is the more you play the game, you learn these things. But
yeah,
so I've found that each time I go on a mission, the first half an hour of it or so is just aimlessly wandering until I happen to find the first footstep, and I'm like, okay, I can follow these now, which is a bit frustrating. But I imagine I learn a way, like either my character learns or I learn where to look for certain monsters. You
level up your fireflies or whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah, the green things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what they're called.
You basically train them, I think. So like, they get better at tracking certain things.
Yeah, I assume that would be the case.
Yeah.
But yeah, once I found the monster, I'm quite enjoying it.
Have you encountered an Anjanath yet?
See, this is the thing. I haven't worked out the names of all the things yet. I've killed the bird-looking thing, which is called like a Koyi Kiku. It's not that, but it's sort of similar.
Katsu, yeah.
I've forgotten all the names of the things.
Yeah, so. I played yesterday and I've forgotten them all. I think I've done the first 3 big monsters, I think. I do like that for the first 2 monsters, you're following around Matt Mercer and he's telling you what to do.
Yeah, no, that's
as much as
you
were joking about the weird voice acting. Not bad, but you know what it is, voice acting.
Yeah.
And then for the first few monsters, you just follow around Matt Mercer being Matt Mercer. I was like,
to be fair, he is like a little bit
he's
anime
hamming it slightly, but only slightly.
But even then, it's Matt Mercer. He could literally do any like any stupid voice, and I'd still think he was amazing. So
yeah. So that was quite good fun. I was just like, okay, I feel completely out of my depth. I have no idea what's going on, but this is reassuring. So Matt Mercer is telling me what to do, and I will do whatever it is without any hesitation.
I think that's a bit of a kink for a lot of people on the internet. Just Matt Mercer tells you what to do for 20 minutes.
Yeah, so it might
Subscribe
make my
to
view of the game.
Patreon for more.
It might make my view of the game biased somewhat, but so far, and I have no idea how many monsters there are or how big the map gets, so I don't know how. I'm not far through it at all. I imagine it's a game you can sink in hundreds of hours before you finish it.
Definitely.
So
absolutely.
I'm approximately 2% through it or something. But I'm enjoying it. I think it's good.
Cool.
We'll have to go hunt some monsters together at some point.
Yes, absolutely.
The other things on my list are, I've watched Good Omens, which we've already spoken about.
Yep.
And we played D&D, which we're going to speak about in a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's me done.
All right then.
Okay, guess it's time to talk about D&D, ain't it?
I guess it is.
If we're skipping Wib section.
Well, mine was like a footnote in Snipe section. So
a footnote, you say?
It was a very big footnote.
Yeah.
It was like, you know when you read an article and it has like they go through, like, they have the asterisks to, like, go and check a footnote, and then there's the double asterisk, and then they start having to use other weird symbols because they've had too many asterisks.
Yeah.
That's basically the kind of footnote it was.
Plus.
Yeah.
Obelisk.
Like,
Hey.
obelisk. Yeah, whatever Dromat said.
I was making an asterisk and obelisk reference. I'll have you know.
The French dudes.
Yeah, the comic characters. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No. Timely
How
references.
fucking old are you?
Old enough.
They're still around.
Yeah,
Just
so
not-
is Drummer Matt. But...
But anyway, Dungeons and Dragons. So, just to lay some groundwork.
Dungeons and Dragons is a game made by Gary. Okay.
We've, if you've not been listening to the podcast for a super long time,
Finally, people can come back and listen to the shit they care about.
we did a campaign where Drummer Matt was the DM, and us and our friends Ash and Sarah played through a little campaign with a bunch of characters, and every time we had a session, we'd recount what happened at the end of the podcast, and people seemed to quite like it.
I like talking about it, and people seem to like hearing about it.
So we're going to be doing that again with this new campaign.
Yes, which is
At least they don't seem to dislike it. So.
Yeah. This new campaign is being DM'd by Ash, who was playing Talus in Drummer Matt's campaign, and yeah. We're also playing same people playing, just a different person DMing this time. So Drummer Matt actually gets to play as a character for
I haven't
once.
played for years, like as a player.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
It's weird having like not answering to you, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So we're going to recount what happened in our first session, and we're going to introduce our characters as and when they appear in the narrative.
In order of appearance.
Because we didn't all just appear at the same time.
No. I was playing with Sarah's character in basically campaign episode 0. So I'm not going to go into that too much, but little bits of it do come up.
Yeah, because that would be spoilers for players that don't know stuff that happens in it yet.
Exactly.
So, do you want to start off, because you were the people that you and Sarah were the people who started off the campaign, like, you know.
Okay, so I guess I'll introduce my character first.
Yes.
My character, Hela Callan, is she's a 6'3" half elf with pale blonde hair tied up in a messy bun, big brown eyes, dark eye makeup, wearing half plate. It's quite nicely engraved with like little ivy and vines around the side. I have a longsword, a silvered longsword, and a shield. I am a paladin who has taken the Oath of the Ancients.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm very, very, like, for those of you who don't know, that's not very lawful good. Oh, I can't tell a lie, paladin. That's, she will punch you in the face if you, like, steal somebody's, like, musical instrument, because they love light and laughter and joy and happiness and little things like that. So they're not really concerned with, like, morals and kind of like things like that. They don't have to be, or like never telling lies or anything like that. So yeah, that's basic outline for my character. Beltan is Sarah's character, who is a full elf. She's 5'4", I think. She's got like long red hair, very kind of like, you know, leafy kind of green dress, and a wooden staff. She's playing a druid,
Yes.
who is awesome. So we're hanging out in the tavern in this old town called Honeston, which was formerly known as Glimmer. The town's history is, to condense it very quickly, was an incredibly wealthy and prolific town because they had some beautiful gold veins, like really phenomenal gold veins underneath the and around the surrounding land. Which made the town excessively wealthy, to the point where they have the biggest library on the continent, the most impressive one, just hanging out in this town. And overnight, it all vanished and basically turned into a ghost town. And there's barely anyone there. There's like one tavern and a couple of other places. I already knew this. You guys didn't really know this.
No.
But like, it's okay, because it would have come up anyway.
My
so
character knew this, but I don't think I did.
Okay, yeah. I think, to be fair, I think Webb's character would know this as well. So yeah, and Hela just, she's come down and she's looking for adventure and everything. And we did campaign 0, where we went and sorted out a bunch of stuff. We met the librarian and helped out a local couple. And while we were just having breakfast and talking, a little Dragonborn girl, who's one of the little kids that the mayor is taking care of, comes in and gives me a note saying that the librarian wants to see me. And Beltan, of course. So we're like having a very loud conversation about, oh yeah, that grumpy Dragonborn librarian, he's like decided that we need his help, because when we went there in campaign 0, he was like, oh, there's this horrible shit going on in the library. And we were like, we'll help. He's like, no, I don't need your help. I've hired some guy called Junior, but I haven't seen him. And he hasn't come back. And I'm like, okay, fine. Whatever.
And on your characters loudly discussing the library, my character, who is happened to also be in this particular inn,
What were the chances?
Slams down his drink and walks over and is like, oh, you're going to the library, are you? Because my...
And I'm like, it's closed.
Yes, you are. Your character would not stop telling me it was closed, no matter how much I was aware. So my character is a tiefling called Samuel Sylvain. I'm not going to say too much about him because very little of his backstory has come out to the players.
Well, what does he look like, at least?
But he's red, wearing scale mail armor. He's a ranger. His fighting style is straight up. It's just based on Trevor Belmont from Castlevania.
Yeah, he's got all the bells and whistles.
He's got a rapier and a whip, and everything geared to making him really good at two-handed combat. I know that, strictly speaking, giving him a second rapier would be more efficient in most cases, but then he wouldn't have a whip.
Yeah, that's the point. Then he wouldn't have the whip, and it wouldn't be cool.
And basically, he had been given information that he needed to check out the library. So he only just got into town, and so when a couple of people are saying, oh, we're going to go to the library and do something, he was basically like, hey, can I come and tag along? Because basically he doesn't know the way to anywhere. He is of noble upbringing, so he is quite proper.
Don't think he likes Hela very much.
He's the exact opposite of my last character, Johnny, who was a rough as arseholes, punk rock barbarian, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I'd go as far to say that Hela is quite different from Nathan as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, very different.
Yeah, for a start, she tends to be optimistic and...
not a dickhead.
Hasn't tried to disguise himself as a sexy female goblin yet. So,
I don't have the disguise spell, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Yet.
That's important.
Yes.
So, we all go off and go to the library where we meet...
Dr. Horace Warblehat.
Which may be a reference.
Maybe
a reference. And he's like, oh, yeah, basically the guy who I hired has already gone in.
Yeah, but we haven't heard of him.
But haven't heard anything from him.
From him for a while.
So, do you want to maybe go in there?
Yeah. And, I was quite proud of this joke. Because it's like, oh, yes, his name was Junior, and my character gets outraged and goes, you mean to tell me you sent a baby into a library full of, monsters? And I nearly convinced him that he could have sent a baby into because I was making such a scene.
Definitely nearly convinced him.
I could have done. I have +5 to my charisma, motherfucker.
Yeah, you rolled a fucking nat 20 for your charisma.
Yeah. Quite happy about that.
So, yeah.
Which is weird because my character is oddly abrasive.
Well, actually, it's not a nat 20 because that's not how it works, but you rolled an 18 and then you had buffs to your charisma.
Because I'm a half-elf, I get +2 to charisma, so I have a 20 charisma, which is +5, and 19 strength, which is +4.
Yeah.
Which is still pretty good.
You are the most outrageously overpowered
I'm
character.
I'm what Nathan thinks he is. Nathan thinks he's this strong.
Whereas I had to sit there min-maxing my character from my rolls to make sure that I could even do the basic things that he's
Dromat
supposed
rolled
to do.
worse than you
Oh
did.
yeah, you rolled awfully, didn't you?
But anyway,
Yeah, my character's not great.
yeah. But yeah, back to the story. So he finally agrees to let us in.
Oh, after I do question him about... because the reason that my character was wanting to go to the library is because he had been told that a character, or a person who goes by the pseudonym of the Lifebringer had been there. He'd been given information about that, so he questions he questions the librarian about this, and he says, "Oh yeah, he's shown up and he's hurling threats about being let in."
He wanted access to the restricted areas of the library, and I said no, and he was like, "Oh, mark my words, you'll rue this day." Rawr.
And so I gave him a little list of pseudonyms that this entity uses, basically in case someone comes in and tries to use that to get through. So he had more information about it, and that if he comes back, basically make sure you have guards, because I know this person, and when they want in somewhere, they don't make threats idly. So if they threaten to come back here, they're going to do it, and you need to be prepared. And if he does show up, basically send him. Try and get if it looks like he's going to show up, if you can, send a message over to where I am, and I'll come as soon as I can. But then we go ahead and actually go and do what we're actually supposed to do, which is go into the library to try and deal with the strange phenomena that is happening inside it.
So yeah, the librarian locks the door behind us, and as we walk in, we immediately see the back side, with its back to us, of a spectator.
Which, if you're not aware, is a small beholder, basically.
So yeah. So I basically tell everyone to shut up, and I'm like, "Are you seeing this?" And everyone's like, "Yes, we have eyes." I'm like, "Okay, good." So I sneak up right behind. I say to Ash, I go, "I'm gonna run up behind it, and I'm just gonna smack it with my sword as hard as I can." And I do pretty well, I think. And Ash, I'm gonna try and recall how he said it exactly as it went. Like, as you raise your sword and bring it down on the unsuspecting spectator in front of you, your sword clangs off violently in the opposite direction. The spectator starts to wobble. You hear uproarious laughing from the other side of the door where Dr. Warblehat, the librarian, has currently locked himself out. And he says, "Please do mind the exhibits. They're hard to replace."
It was just a statue of a
beholder. It was a fucking statue, and I'd run in with full of piss and vinegar. Everyone was laughing at me, and I'm just like, I don't care, and I kick it. And then I'm like, we need to keep moving. It was fucking hysterical. It was great. So we go in, and we're not really seeing anything. This is the big fucking grand library. It is huge. You could tell that it was very obviously the most prized library on the continent. It is huge. It's still got some magical enchantments, so that when you walk past the fireplaces, they magically light themselves and stuff like that. It's pretty fancy. And as we're going, like, Hella, being Hella, just starts shouting, "Little boy!" because she thinks Junior's a little boy. "If you're in there, we're here to help you, Junior." I think Samuel immediately is like, "Please don't do that. There might be bad things in here."
Not quite. What happens is, I think Baltan also starts shouting with the echo.
Oh, yeah, and I'm just like, "Hey, check this out, echo!" And we start, like, playing with the echo, and Samuel is not very happy.
And then we hear a voice from the other side of the room basically going, "Will you be quiet? There's dangerous things in here."
Yeah, and then we kind of walk up, and then, like, basically we see, like, a pair of crossbows poke out from behind a fucking, like, bookshelf, and we're like, okay, oh no. Hello? And I was like, "Oh, it's okay." I think I got, because Hella doesn't have a great memory for names. She's like, Professor Wobbly sent us, and he's like, "What?" But yeah, I'll let Drama Matt continue.
Hello, the crossbow was mine.
Yes, you were the crossbow.
just the one, not two.
Yeah.
But But yeah, so my character, Junior, not in fact a baby.
That remains to be seen. I think
Surprisingly-
Hella's still like
Baby with a bow.
Yeah.
Baby with a bow.
baby with a bow, baby with a bow.
References. So I'm Junior. I'm mid-30s ish from the look of me. With a hand crossbow and a rapier, wearing a long, old and thinning and slightly bedraggled wizard's robe over leather armor. I'm a human. I have mid-length-ish brown hair, but more out of just not having had a haircut for a while rather than particular style. I'm a fighter. Is my class.
With crossbow and rapier.
Yeah, I've got the crossbow expert thing, which means I get to have lots of hand crossbow shots, which I thought would be quite fun.
Yeah.
And then there's various manoeuvres, because I'm a battle master one, so I get to like push people around and trip people up. Which all says, like, none of it says like melee attack. They also, because some of them specify melee attack, some of the manoeuvres you can choose. And I was like, well, I don't want to have that because I want to do it with my crossbow. But like, you can do pushing ones and tripping ones with a ranged weapon. That's fine, apparently, according to the rules.
I guess,
so I guess it's
like,
just aiming
like
for the leg or aiming for
To be fair, I would probably trip up if you fired a crossbow bolt into my shin.
yeah. I mean,
Probably.
fair. So yeah, that is me. And I initially suspicious at these random people turning up. Once they start saying Dr. Wobbly or whatever he said, I was like, well, if you guys had come here for like some bad reason, you A, probably wouldn't know his name, and B, wouldn't get it that wrong. So I'm just like, okay, you guys are probably fine.
That's a fine piece of logic there.
Yeah. So Junior comes out and I shake his hand and I just stare at him like a creep.
Yeah, and don't
let
go.
go of his hand.
Yeah.
I'm just like, he's like, oh, I'm Junior, and I'm like, okay. I'm just staring at him.
Yeah.
I think he has to wrench his hand free and then moves around.
Charisma 20 does not necessarily include, like, social skills.
Well, she was startled by the way your character looks. Okay?
I think I did introduce you as, this is Hella. She's Hella.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's true. I am.
A character who can turn the charm on, but in her natural state is a bit weird.
That's rude. I think she's incredibly socially adaptable. Okay, I can't even finish that with a
And
straight face.
then Hella introduces Sammy, or as I've known him
I
as
call
Sammy.
him Sammy Silver.
I have no idea whether Sammy is a name that you like to be known as, but it's what I was introduced as so that's what he's got. That's all he knows.
Okay.
So-
I did actually introduce myself to you properly afterwards.
Yeah, you did, but
I was like, this is Sammy Silver, and then he's like Samuel Sylvain. I'm like, yeah,
it
that's
might
what I
take
said.
a while to get out of Sammy.
Fine.
But yeah, then we move along to the door, and I just start smacking on it, like, it's locked. And Junior's like, no shit.
I have a key.
And then I was like, is it for this door? Or are you just showing off the fact that you have a key? Poor Junior, why is he putting up with us?
So, the door is unlocked, and we enter into the restricted section of the library where shit is happening.
Yeah, I wander in because Hella isn't very... Well, she doesn't check for traps, let's just say.
Your character is so gonna die.
Yeah, probably. she just walks in and is just kind of like, well, it's a big boring room, okay, and just starts kind of going, I think, like, Cobblepot is just off his tree or something, and not noticing the imps that are everywhere in there,
Yeah.
like, around the sides. Because of course I don't notice.
So combat begins with was it 5 imps, I think?
There's 5 imps, yeah.
Yeah, so nothing too dangerous. Although saying that, the initial round of combat,
I got hit for like 15 damage.
well, yeah, the initial like thing was you getting charged by an imp, and yeah, it just biting off like half your health.
I just rolled throughout the entirety of this fight. I rolled 4s, constantly
You did.
rolling 4s.
You rolled one crit, and then made up for it by all of the rest of your rolls to be 4s.
Yeah. But like, yeah, so first round, it comes up and like it swipes at me. I fail miserably with my shield and my half plate. It does like 8 damage to me from the off, and then I have to roll a Constitution save, and it just does another 6 damage to me. It just just fucking wrecks me.
Yeah, it just takes a remarkably large, because it like maxed out the damage it could possibly do with
just
like
got
its
really
initial
lucky.
attack. Yeah, it was a rough opening gambit, and it was like not indicative of the rest of the fight at all.
No, not really. No, I'm sure Ash got really nervous at that point when he saw like me lose like 13, 14 hit points assault from the off.
Because then after that, after I was initially going like, ah, shit.
If the tank's taken that much damage already.
Yeah, like you, Matt, then just like one shot. That particular imp just shot it and just fucking died.
Yeah, I tried to make a tripping attack which would like make him land off his wings. And then it was just like, yeah, that just didn't need to do that. He just dies.
It's like, oh,
okay. Although I think I might have got away lucky there because these guys are resistant to non-magical attacks, and I mentioned after the attack, I was like, yeah, this is just a normal crossbow.
yeah.
I was like, oh, well, it's already happened, but okay, from now on, fine.
Yeah.
So I think I might have got off a little bit lucky there.
Yeah.
I think I need to find a magical weapon.
Fortunately, the fact that because you shot one, you had enough things to shoot another one. That meant that one of them was injured, so it meant that even though my rolls were terrible, I was then able to kill the one that you shot. Because, well, I had Colossus Slayer, which meant that if something's already damaged, I just do an extra like D8 of damage to it per round.
It's nuts, yeah.
So even though I only hit it, I missed with my 2 rapier hits. I managed to hit it with my shitty D4 whip, which is all my weapons are silvered because, yeah, Shock Horror, the character based on Trevor Belmont, is somewhat able to deal with things of a more supernatural nature.
Well, my longsword's silvered as well, but I found it, so that'll come out later.
Yeah,
I feel.
So that one was taken down.
Beltan has this really cool thing where I think it's like savagery or something, where she basically just grows like bear claws and just tears chunks out of things. It's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
She just like nukes one as well, and I'm sitting here going, I haven't even done a thing. Oh well, that's fine. But like the one time I did a hit, I think it was the second time.
The second round.
Second round where, so because we're level 5, we have I have 2 melee attacks, and because I'm a paladin, a lot of the spells I have can be used as like my bonus action. So my last round, I cast Thunderous Smite, which adds I think 2d6 to my damage as well. Because I was just like, fuck this, Thunderous Smite. So I managed to crit with my first attack, get a shitload of damage in that. I can't even remember how much it was. It was a lot. It
was like 30 something or something.
And it's like, imps have like 12 HP. So I just started going like nuclear on this thing, and then it just evaporated.
Like first strike,
it
was just gone.
And I was like, I am so worked up!
Bearing in mind, Thunderous Strike also creates a thunderclap that can be heard for like
300 feet.
Yeah,
like
all
it's
around.
like this cacophonous fucking thunderclap throughout, like rippling throughout the library. And then I turn around and bolt, and like because I haven't moved to like another imp, and I'm like and I roll a 4. I roll another 4, and I'm like, oh fuck, okay. I killed one, I'm happy.
After you like completely atomize that first one, I did just turn around and go, it was just an imp.
Yeah, and like Hello turns around and goes, and I don't like imps. And it's like, well, I think that's maybe some fluff I can add to her backstory. She just
like
really
imps.
hates imps for some reason. But yeah, we managed to take all of them down. Pretty well. I cast Cure Wounds because I'm still getting used to healing magic, because we had like no healing magic in the last campaign.
Yeah, our old campaign, we only had one person by the end of it who had any healing abilities, and that was me, the barbarian.
Which during the end fight, I think I just got myself up, and I was still like, I think Talus had given me a health potion. I got myself up, and my nose was bleeding. I was like kind of like I was still in a bad way. Johnny turns around and points at me and heals me for 1 HP.
Because I had one level in Bard, so I could be a barbarian.
Yeah, and I'm like, my nose has stopped bleeding. Was that you? And he's like, I think so. Yes. It was a very cute moment.
But yeah, so we deal with that, and then I'll hand over to Matt to recount what happens next.
Well, I'm trying to remember. So, were the imps in the room when we came in?
Yeah, the imps in the room came in.
Because I got through. I walk into the middle of the room, and I've been given, as well as the key, I've been given a phrase to say to
Which none of us know.
Stop the bad things from happening. But I think that's what it was for.
Yeah.
So I get halfway through this, and then we're interrupted by how many imps suddenly popping into existence?
About 36 imps pop into existence surrounding
Because yeah,
us.
the thing is, the issue that this library was having was that I think the doc, what's the name, Warble Hat, was saying having this much knowledge and this much books in one place just does weird things to like reality.
The fabric of reality, because there's so much magical books and stuff.
And just things to start popping across from like other universes and other dimensions and things, which is presumably where the imps came from.
Yeah.
And there was something about the air feeling sticky
It felt greasy.
or greasy. That was it.
The air was greasy.
Which none of our characters, some of us tried to think what that might be. And none
I
of us would know.
rolled 2 like critical failures on my perception of the 2 times I was asked to make a perception roll.
Yeah.
I have +3 to my perception, and it meant fucking
Having
nothing.
met your character for more than half an hour, that's not surprising.
Well, I got shit.
You're somehow rolling in character.
Yeah, apparently I was rolling and not paying attention to character. But yeah, so like Junior, we just see him walk past us and just stand in the middle of this room and start chanting like evil words, and we're all like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then suddenly 30 something imps pop into existence surrounding
Like,
us.
don't think that was me.
And he was like, "It wasn't me," and I was like, "It was you," and he's like, "Probably not." And we're like, so yeah, we roll initiative, and we're like,
Fuck.
Oh, fuck. I mean, I'm back up to, like, 31 of 39 hit points, but I'm still, like, the way I'm rolling.
Yeah, and I think because when we rolled initiative, you got highest, didn't you, Matt?
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
then you went to go and hide behind one of the, lecterns.
Yeah, so he crouched behind that, and he was going to pop over and...
But then before you could take a shot,
Yeah, just as, like, Junior was lining up a shot.
something else popped into existence. A large rectangular thing with many feet
And many teeth.
that proceeded to pounce on every one of these groups of imps, devouring them whilst they were screaming for mercy,
Oh, yeah.
and then toddled over and sat down next to us and opened up its lid. Because it was a chest on many, many legs.
It's the luggage.
It's the luggage from Discworld. In case the whole
Warble Hat
Warble Hat,
library.
air feeling greasy and magic, and too many books in one place causing reality distortions.
Yeah.
Didn't
Is
give
it
away the-
obvious that the group is a fucking huge, like, collective fan of Terry Pratchett and the Discworld novels?
And he wanted to have like a more light-hearted one for the first
Yeah, just for
one,
the
so-
introduction. And Hella immediately fell in love with it. So she's like trying to communicate with it. It's like, okay, one open and closed for yes, 2 for no. Are you friendly? And it's like, and I'm like, guys, it's friendly. And it's like,
The rest of
It
us are
just
like,
tried to bite you. That's not friendly.
yeah, like everyone is just like, stay away from him. I'm like, no, he's cute because Hella is Hella.
yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I could see that he had like the chest had like something in its mouth, for lack of a better word. And I'm like, is it okay if I take some of the things that are in your mouth? 1 for yes, 2 for no, and again. And I'm like,
We're all like, she's totally going to
like-
lose an arm.
yeah, honestly, I was sitting there going, fuck. But, I mean, this is the way she'd act. But as the person playing her, I'm like, please don't bite her arm off, please. So she just goes in and just takes out, like, a couple of health potions. She's like, oh, cool. And just passes them to Samuel and just keeps pulling things out. Like, there's, like, potatoes and there's, like, a weird vial and there's, like, a wizard hat that's spelt wrong. 2 Zs. And I give them all to Samuel, and I'm like, I like him. I think he's sweet. And I'm like petting him, and I call him Nibbly because he's bitey, and I like everyone else is like, stay away from it. It's fucking evil. Oh, and a sandwich pops out of like one of the tears in reality. that is like a reference to Talus's sandwiches that she would always make from the first campaign we did that were gross. Sora and Nathan hated these sandwiches, but Johnny loved them.
So Samuel picks up the sandwich and carefully feeds it to the chest.
No, you throw it at the damn thing.
Well,
you don't want to
I
get
throw
close.
it into it, you know.
Yeah, just like...
Because I'm like, is it... Maybe if we feed it something, it'll be okay. Does anyone have a sandwich? And then the sandwich popped into existence.
Yeah. It's like, okay, guess we have a sandwich.
Okay. I think it was originally just supposed to be a joke since other things were popping into
And then you
reality.
were like-
But then I was like, no, seriously, did that really happen?
And Ash was like, yeah, fill your boots, why not?
Yeah. And so it led to the thing of sitting there go, okay, so it's being friendly with us now, but what happens when it wants another sandwich?
And then we go find more imps to fight. It's really easy. So yeah, and I'm basically giving instructions to Nibbly, going, okay, like, you know, hide, because it can literally just turn completely. It can like pop into a different dimension. It's basically it's a counts as large bag of holding for us.
Yeah.
So I put all the stuff back in, and we go to see Dr. Warblehat. Oh
Yeah.
no, this is like before when like. I just start like engraving something on the floor in marble in my sword because I'm bored, and Samuel all but fucking like hits me.
I slap you on the arm and I'm like, stop doing that!
I'm like, why?
It's like it's a nice old building.
I'm like, yeah, the floor's boring, and it'd be nicer if it had like some ivy and some leaves. And then Junior's like, we won't get paid. And I'm like, okay, I don't care. And it's like, well, we won't get paid. I'm like, okay, that's fair. I'll stop then.
Can you just fucking not?
Well, that's just a big boring building. Like, it's all sterile and dumb. So we go out, see Dr. Warblehat, and we're basically like, yeah, did everything good. And then Nibbly pops into existence behind him.
And he all but shits a brick.
He fucking freaks out. It's hilarious. And then I have to try and convince Warblehat that Nibbly is a friend.
Like you're telling
and a
her,
boy.
like, oh no, he's friendly, and the rest of the group is like,
You're behind me
honestly,
going,
going like, honestly, we don't know. It seems friendly now, but I'm just gonna say I'd be a bit cautious about it.
And I'm
More
like, no.
importantly, it seems to be following us, not you. So
Yeah. And I'm just like so taken with Nibbly. I love him very much.
So yeah, we get lifetime library cards.
We do, even to the restricted areas.
So I say like my character's going to come back to try and find out what the Lifebringer was, see if there was anything I could find that he might be after. So I said I'll be coming back to go and check that out. But for now, we all go back to the inn for the night, and that's where the session ended. It was just a little short one, just as a little introduction.
It was just a short kind of like a bit more of a silly one to kind of get us all loosened up and into new characters and kind of just comfortable into roleplay and like back into playing and stuff.
Yeah, so
it was so much fun, honestly.
Yeah, it was really nice to just to play D&D again because it's been a while.
It was awesome,
Yeah,
and I'm really interested in kind of like learning more about everybody's characters.
Yeah,
and
it's also
I think. Oh, go on.
Sorry, I was going to say it's also interesting because we've, unlike like our last campaign when we started at level 1, because we were used to playing high, characters that were like level 6 by the time we ended. This campaign started with us at level 5, so we're all a little bit stronger.
Yeah,
and we have a range
used to
of abilities
and things like that.
So we're not starting from absolute scratch, which is probably a good thing considering that for various reasons we don't get to like play every week or anything.
Yeah.
So it means that, we're not going to spend like 2 years getting back up to level 5 again.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, would have happened if we hadn't have started. So there is quite a lot to learn about learning a new class that you've never played before from scratch.
I really am playing the opposite of a warlock as well. It's weird.
And like I've got like my character could not cast any spells until I got that level of bard, and now like rangers can cast a bunch of spells, but like because I had to kind of min-max my character so that he could do the things that I wanted him to do, to have like the full two-handed fighting kind of style thing as a ranger. And then it was like, okay, basically all of my spells, I basically I think it's wisdom is my actual casting thing for them.
Okay.
And my wisdom is shite. Like, I have no bonus to my wisdom whatsoever.
No, that means it's average.
Well, it's average, but it means
But for an adventurer...
So basically, all the things, all of my ranger things are all things that are just don't use my actual spell casting ability. They're just things that instantly happen. for one reason or other, with the exception of the handful of other random spells that I have by being a tiefling.
I mean, you have like Hellish Rebuke, which, speaking like, because I had that with Nathan, it's really fun.
Unfortunately, all my inherent tiefling stuff are based on my charisma, which I have like a +2 bonus to because of being a tiefling. So I'm like, yeah, okay.
It's good.
Have you got stuff like Hunter's Mark and those sort of
Yes.
range of things?
Yeah,
sure you do.
I've got Hunter's
Yeah,
Mark.
because I don't think that necessarily involves your ability skill, does it?
Yeah,
I
you
don't
just
think?
point at someone and
Yeah.
go, I'm fucking having you, mate.
Yeah, so stuff like that you'll be alright with.
That's pretty much what all my things are just things that
Yeah, okay.
are either I touch someone and give them like speed boosts, which led to me, because it says you touch a player and it gives them a speed boost, or touch a creature and it'll give them a speed boost. So that meant I had to look up, as a ranger, can I touch myself?
This was not apparently an uncommon question.
A lot of people have asked that question. And
As a ranger, can I touch myself? It's like, well, it's
like in relation, it was in relation to
question.
Longstrider specifically, and as the comments, like once they got over laughing and going, what you do in the privacy of your own campaign is on you. People were like, yeah, of course you can, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, because you just kind of go, and I'm
and
fast.
then you can move like 10 feet
Gotta go
faster per
fast.
turn. Things like that I've got, and like one that basically gives us like +10 to stealth rolls as a group.
Oh, with Pass Without Trace.
Yeah, it is
That's
a level
really
2 spell,
cool.
so I can't do it much, but
It is cool.
but
though.
that's quite useful considering that I'm wearing scale mail, which
I'm
is
wearing half plate.
and you're wearing half plate.
That means
both,
every stealth thing I ever have to take, I take with disadvantage.
yeah, both of us have that.
Yeah, because
so.
we're clanging around like idiots.
That was why I
clank,
took it,
clank.
because due to my 2 weapon kind of things and having scale mail, that means I have got an AC of 17 when in battle. So
Nice.
for a character that's not explicitly designed as like a tank or anything,
I'm the tank
a little
healer.
difficult to hurt.
Yeah, do you have the same AC?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have
the tank.
17 AC. My constitution isn't great,
It is also ludicrous
so that's
how
why
much...
I took a shield, because it gives me +2
Yeah.
to my armor class.
It's also ludicrous how much better we are at building characters this time around, because we know what we're doing.
I'm still built fluffy, but I built a little bit more strategically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be talking about that next time.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have another session by then, so we... well, actually, will we? Because it's not... When's the next session?
Maybe next Friday.
Yeah, no, I think we're
Oh, it's
good.
next-
We're aiming for
oh,
next
yeah, it's
Friday,
next
and
Friday,
the next
so yeah.
podcast the week after. So,
Cool, so yeah.
hopefully, if all goes to plan,
Cool.
Yeah, we should have another story for everybody.
Yeah.
which I imagine is going to be the entire session of us. We've just got back to the pub, so it's just going to be us.
It's
our
going to be
characters
us like,
introducing
getting in
ourselves
there.
properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there'll probably be a
So-
lot of role-playing.
And
that
probably
one.
like Hella asking Samuel more uncomfortable questions.
Like asking me, can I sleep on a pillow with my horns?
Do you bite your tongue a lot because of your fangs? Hella, you have convinced her now, because why would you lie about it, that you speak so fancy because you don't want to bite your tongue.
Yeah.
She's just convinced of that now, because he's like, well, I mean, you do have to be careful.
I think Samuel's just like slightly offended that of all the things that she's mentioned about him, you've not mentioned the one thing that he has pride over, which is his very fancy waxed moustache.
She was going to, but then the campaign came
Yeah.
to a point, because she's just been staring at you, being like, because she's not really seen many tieflings before,
And I do
least of all bright red ones.
And I made him be like the most evil looking one.
He
So
looks
is-
like the literal devil.
So
He's
he-
red. He's got like pitch black hair, black eyes. He's got like a little mustache that's like curled properly at the edges. It's
Yeah.
amazing. He looks like the literal devil. He's gorgeous.
But yeah, so we'll get to more D&D next time. So I guess that means we are now down to questions, which we'll try and go through relatively quickly, considering
It's
there's-
2 hours already.
Yeah, we've already been recording for 2 hours, so...
Yeah.
Okie
Try-
dokie.
Hit us, drummer Matt. Hit us with your butt. Hit us with your butt.
Was saying rhythm stick just too obvious?
I couldn't remember the word rhythm, so
Oh, okay. It
I
is...
was like, I wanted to say timing stick. No, that doesn't work. So I just thought,
Okay, I'll give you something easier.
okay.
What's the email address that people need to send
Oh,
their emails to if they want us to answer a question in the podcast?
Fuck you, dude. Only drummer Matt. Yeah.
Yeah?
At
Yeah.
snipeandwib@gmail.com.
Yep.
Please send us in like messages about how you think Samuel is handsome.
They've not seen him.
I will be drawing all the characters.
I was actually
going
to draw Samuel because I wanted to kind of do that nice and early.
I've already drawn Hela, but I haven't drawn her in armor.
Yeah,
but I'll get around to that. But yes, on to the questiones.
All right, we have a bunch.
Okay.
Ooh, a bunch.
First up, iSophist, who was previously Kriegerbot and changed the name like the day before they emailed in.
Okay, well, hello.
Long email, which I'm not going to shorten now, but I think they sent it over to you as well with just some various, just full of praise for us, the amazing channel and podcast, obviously. That doesn't do it any justice. But
yeah, no, they did send us something.
I believe you've seen it
as well. It was a very beautiful email.
It was very nice.
It was lovely, and if we don't reply, this is just to everybody as well. If we don't reply very expediently, it's because we are trying to formulate a good response, because you've sent us like something beautiful and we want to just not go, thanks, lol, we're bad at emotions, haha.
Well, that is pretty much what I've had to say sometimes.
Yeah, so please don't think we're ignoring you. We want to do good, and it's hard.
And kind of socially awkward.
But at the end of the email, there is a question for the podcast.
Okay.
Okie
So,
dokie.
how important do you feel it is to play according to canon? So, for instance, they play Space Marines, but they're too cautious to play Space Wolves and not strategic enough to play Ultramarines. They've read a bunch of lore about the Dark Angels, but they'll never play them except to have them beaten up by Space Wolves.
Good.
And also they don't play bikes and speeders and things.
Yeah.
So they feel that they should have some impact on the way of play as to the way what army they field and like lore stuff and things. What are your guys' thoughts?
I personally feel that whilst it is fun to build something very, very fluffy, and I think there is something to be said for going full bore and trying to make a functional army that fits within the thing. At its core, it's a game that you spend money on and then spend hours painting miniatures, and it's yours, and you do whatever the hell you want with it. If you want to play Dark Angels and never use a single bike, never use Terminators, so never use any of those specialist things, that's fine. If you want to play Ultramarines but only use bikes, that's fine.
Honestly, it's at the end of the day, it's what you feel comfortable with playing. I mean, I tend to kind of take the existing canon and just kind of swap out bits I'm not interested in, or put in my own head canons, basically. And I don't think anyone else should play Space Wolves like I do, but I do feel that they should all paint them the same colour scheme, because holy fuck, I hate this baby blue shit.
I mean, because your Space Wolves are not the same colour, and currently your way of running them is solely Dreadnoughts with an Imperial Knight backing them up.
Yeah, so don't listen to me about that. But I'd say, like, literally, you play however makes you happy.
So if playing fluffy makes you happy, then
fucking
go for
do it, dude.
That's really, I think that's really the thing. Is it's just you play how. It's a game at the end of the day. The lore is invented to back up the game, and
as long as you're not running Wolfen or playing Hanzo, you're doing great. Quite frankly.
So yeah, that's sort of my sort of stance on it. Do you have anything to add, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, the important thing is to have fun, right? So
yeah.
I mean, it's nice if you're unsure as to what army to play or something. It's a nice, you can look into the lore and then that narrow down your choice. But I don't think it should necessarily rule someone out because you love how they look and you love how the models, but you don't always like how they would traditionally be played. Like, that doesn't mean you can't ever play them. So yeah, use it as a guideline. It's a guidelines, not rules.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, do whatever you like, really.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Agent Sinister. First up, and this is the most important news, the dog that we've previously heard about that sprained its tail by overwagging it is now fine.
Good.
Oh, I'm glad.
Good. So back to his silly hyperactive self. Hyperactive. Man, I can't talk today. Okay, second up, a question. If you could fight, as in if we could fight in any 40k battle, 40k, Horus Heresy or 41st Millennium or whatever, what would it be and what would you be doing during it? My answer is very simple. I wouldn't, and if I had to, it'd be one without a commissar, and I'd be running away.
Okay, I'm kind of wanting to do that. I'm kind of wanting to run away with Drummer Matt.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good.
It's a cop-out answer, but honestly, like, I wouldn't be doing anything else.
Yeah,
So-
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I'm
I mean-
gonna take Drummer Matt's answer, but if you want a unique one from me, I'm gonna do one of the ones where, you know, when like Dark Angels and Space Wolves kind of like fight together,
Yeah.
they kind of have like a playful like scruff.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna play in one of those, and I'm gonna be the person announcing it and also oiling them up before and after. I'm gonna be the ring girl who also has to oil them.
Yeah. I guess if I put aside the fact that like I ain't going near that shit. If I put aside that and I just go for what was like a really cool fight, like in canon, I'd probably go for something like the name's falling out of my head now. It's the one in No Fear, where oh god, I should know that name. It's fallen out of my head now. The name of the planet, but basically it's like the Ultramarines' pride and joy. Calth.
Yeah.
And it's like it's like their model planet for like how this.
Their Mary Sue planet.
Their Mary Sue planet, and the World Eaters. The World Eaters do kind of show, but it's mainly the Word Bearers, and they fuck it up fiercely. And then the sort of counterattack that the Ultramarines do in that is like so satisfyingly written. It's really good, if nothing else, because you get to see Gilliman running around on the outside of a spaceship punching word bearers into orbit, which is quite fun.
Nice one.
What I'd actually be doing in that is presumably being shot a lot.
You're like the guy who owns the fruit cart, just getting like that blast.
Yeah, I don't believe in any type of fiction I would ever be a good fighter. I'm definitely the sort of person who
You could
gets
be
blown
like
up.
you could have been like the Remembrancer. I
I
didn't
could-
say
I-
you didn't have to be a combatant.
Yeah,
So you could be like you could have a weird like you have like a 400 terabyte brain implant, and you'd just be literally you would have filled it to the brim with Doctor Who knowledge. And then you're just pretending to take notes while you're like remembering all those lost episodes of Doctor Who that they had the audio, but then they turned into like a cartoon or an audio play, and you're just sitting there in the middle of battle going, "Oh, Tom Baker was great."
Colin Baker was underrated, but he didn't get the scripts. He's a bit like Capaldi in that respect.
And the Marines were wandering past going, "Are you getting my good side, Remembrancer?" And you're like, "Oh, yeah. Brother Caliphus, yeah." So, like, Star Trek. And you're just...
I believe there was a crossover in comics, but that hasn't survived until until this date. So
that's what you'd be doing.
Yeah,
I have
presumably.
delegated you.
Yeah, presumably.
I've told you what to do, so...
All right. Good answers. Finally, a husbando rating.
Okay.
Ooh, I'm listening.
So, seeing as Snipe once mentioned that she likes Gladiolus,
I do.
the
Daddy
husbando is Ignis from Final Fantasy 15. So he cooks, he drives, and he generally stops the party from doing anything too stupid. So he's basically the team dad.
I'd say, like... If he ever wears, like, a cute little apron, I'd say that's an instant 10 out of 10. Because there's like a Goshi Fukudu, I'm probably butchering that, Way of the House Husband as a manga, and it's phenomenal. And it's literally this ex-Yakuza, like, hitman who's just a house husband now. And he's got, like, him and his wife are, like, out shopping, and he's, like, scaring everybody because he's just so intense, and he's got, like, a big scar over his eye, and he's got, like, the full upper body, like, sleeves, like, tattoos, like, Yakuza tattoos. And because he's, like, left the Yakuza and everything, and she's like, "You look really scary, you're scaring people, so let's try and get something, let's just try and make you look a bit more friendly." And he's like, he's always shot, like, very kind of, like, low angle, and he's got his head back, but he's looking to, like, you know, the classic anime, like, terrifying
Yeah.
shot. And he's in, like, a little, like, cutie, like, bear apron, and he's like, what about this? And she's like, okay, that's adorable. And she's like a really big fan of like this cute little like, it's like police magical girl anime, and he comes out and like they only had it in like kids sizes, and he's got like, this tiny little apron on with these little anime girls on it, and he's like, I like this one. And it's just, if he was like that, then he'd get 10. I'm gonna give him like a solid 8 because he cooks, and like I've seen videos of him bursting through walls on a bike screaming, I've discovered a new recipe.
Oh, that's him. Okay.
And that's amazing. If I'm even thinking that, I've probably got the guy wrong. But yeah, I'm going to give him an 8. What do you guys think?
I do not know enough to really form a solid opinion. I do not feel that it would be honest for me to...
Well, just thinking like if just a nice guy who stops them getting into trouble and makes sure that their bellies are full and they're not hungry and stuff.
Well, then let's I'll tell you 8 probably sounds fair. So I'll go with an 8 as well then.
What about you, Drumbly Bum?
Well, he sounds like me, so I'm going to give him at least a 6.
What are you, dude? You are a solid 10 out of 10 husbando.
He sounds like me, so I give him a 3.
He sounds like me, so I give him the chair.
Fuck.
Like Drama, you are at the very least a 10 out of 10 husbando. Don't you ever get down on yourself.
All right, well, I guess this guy also gets a 10 then.
There you go. There you go. We've unfortunately only given you 8s because apparently Wib doesn't know who you really are. So that sounded way more dark than I meant.
Apparently.
Fucking hell.
All right, moving on. Charlotte, what is your ideal holiday / time off vibe? So, for example, nature, cities, big group, solo, hot, cold, etc.
Oh, that's a fun question.
I've not been on...
I know we've like only been on a holiday once, but like, what would your ideal holiday be?
You know, because you get those questions like when you get bored and go on BuzzFeed.
I'm a courgette.
Yeah.
It's a better question than that, Charlotte. Don't listen to him.
Oh yeah, no. I just...
But yeah, actually, that was really fucking rude.
No, I just meant because like you know, you get those questions where it'll say, oh, do you know your ideal like holiday destination? It'll give you like the different things, and every time I come to those, I'm always like, I don't know. Because like I've so this isn't like meant as like a feel bad for me sort of thing, but like I've not been on.
I think
we've only been like
I've been on 2 holidays. Oh no, maybe 3 because like my parents once hired a van and took us to Rill.
I don't know if that counts as a holiday. I think that was.
That was a hostage situation. Okay, I've been on 2 holidays, and one of them was to Seattle.
Yeah.
To visit the PopCap offices, which was really cool. Big cities kind of freak me out because I'm not very good in crowds. But I don't know. I always wanted to kind of go to Tokyo and like go to like, you know, Akihabara and buy a bunch of like bullshit about Sailor Moon and Godzilla.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I've always found it very difficult to answer because like
yeah.
I've not really had a chance to go on holidays that have been defined by me as an adult. I only went on holiday a lot when I was a kid, so I'm really kind of torn about it. Although there is one thing I do want to do, which is I would really like to go back to Florida so I could take Snipe to all the theme parks just because they're really weird and interesting, and I just think there's some parts of it like the kind of commitment to like theming and stuff is something that's just really fun to see.
I'd like to go back to Brisbane just for a holiday. Drag you there and then watch you literally just melt. Even during the winter.
And be terrified of literally every animal in the country.
It's okay. It's nothing a giant boot won't solve.
How big is the boot you need to get rid of a red kangaroo who wants to punch you in the mouth?
Okay,
or kick you in the mouth from whatever.
Okay, they can just like gut you, but the thing is, if you can get a punch in on one, they'll probably be too shocked to hit you back.
I don't want to have that be like a thing. I know that people go on holiday to Australia all the time and don't get beaten up by kangaroos.
Okay,
but, like...
as someone who spent like basically all of their childhood there, I'm alive. I only got bit like really badly once, and I was just like vomiting for 2 days. It was really not that bad. I realise how that sounds.
You're not selling Australia right now.
Okay.
There might be a spider the size of your hand that bites you and makes you ill for days. But, like, that's fine.
Yeah, but you don't die. It's fine.
We have like one venomous snake in the entire country. It's called the adder, and its basic personality is if a person is around it, it fucks off because it's like, oh, I don't like people.
Yeah, but it's basically you.
I say, are you an adder?
He's an adder.
Maybe that's it. It wasn't the repeated, use of sarcastic one-liners. It wasn't the good writing. The reason I like Blackadder so much is that I have an affinity for adders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because your spirit animal's an adder.
Yes.
But yeah, I think I'd like to, like, perfect holiday, I'd probably go somewhere that wasn't super, super crowded and had a nice mild temperature and had interesting food that I haven't eaten before.
Okay.
I think that would be fun.
That sounds good. And that sounds like an adult answer, so let's go with
Also
that.
access to a bunch of video games. So yeah, Drummer Matt, what about you?
Historically, we've done a lot of city breaks. We used to just basically look on Ryanair and see, because you can basically fly from and to anywhere in Europe for about a tenner. So we usually used to do that just for weekends, because then you don't need much time off work and it's relatively cheap. But I'm starting to feel a bit bad about that now with, the whole flying thing and it, destroying
Not being
the planet.
super healthy.
But being based on, the mainland Europe, you can get to basically any city here for about 20 quid on a bus. So it's pretty good. And there's so many cities that are like far enough apart to be massively different, but not far enough apart to be unachievable to get to.
Yeah.
So that's our usual vibe. I'm quite happy for, we went on one, I made Ruth come with me on one, like, we found a deal that for an all-inclusive hotel thingy.
Sorry, I made Ruth come with me.
Well, yeah, because it was great, and we managed to find it like cheaper than the flights to anywhere we were at the time. It was like a ridiculous deal, and I was like, "This is great. We'll just go for a week, and we'll sit by a pool and just drink as much beer as we can and eat and sit by a pool and read."
Also a good one. I would like
And
to
it
sit
sounds
by a
amazing.
pool and drink.
And it's just you can go to the bar and just order free drinks, and it's
You
just.
got
I
free
mean, they're not
drinks?
free. You paid for them, but yeah, because it's all inclusive, and like. They're not free because you paid for them, but we only did this because this deal was cheaper than any particular flights at the time. It was like, and a hotel. It was ludicrous. It was like, I say ludicrously cheap. For a holiday, it was cheaper than we would have done it. Our normal way is to book the travel one way and then get an Airbnb or something and do it the cheapest possible way.
Yeah.
And this, we just managed to find a deal that was somehow cheaper than that.
Yeah.
So we just did this, but yeah, bless her, Ruth does not do well for sitting still for more than about 15 seconds.
She is a very active person. She's one of those
So we ended up
people.
having to spend multiple days of this all-inclusive, getting the most out of free alcohol holiday, going and exploring the city. So we're like, oh, we'll probably just stick to the city holidays, I think. No, I don't mind, because I really enjoy them too, but I did want to try one of these other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually our jam, a sort of city type thing. Or walking in the middle of nature. Walking in nature's fun too.
No, I don't know. I kind of hate nature. It's dumb.
Well, that's because you were born in a country where nature wants to kill you.
Honestly, it was the horriblest thing, which is a word, shut up. Like, oh, go outside and play. But the grass is like fucking knives. Because it's so dry and dead, and I'm gonna get bitten by a fucking snake, and I can't be bothered. And I'm gonna get fucking skin cancer because the sun is a dick.
The one that always freaked me out the most about
Or get
Australia
swooped.
was stonefish.
What's wrong with stonefish?
Oh, they're the ones with the prongs.
They're fish.
One of the worst pains you can suffer.
They're fish that sit in like shallow streams and things.
Yeah.
Well, not streams, but like the edges of like lakes and things.
Yep.
Look like a stone, and
Yep.
if you tread on them, they shoot a barb into your foot that will cause you for days to have what is measured as being some of the worst pain it is possible to feel.
Yeah, so let's stand on rocks.
Horror play. What even is
Yeah.
Australia?
It's like people act like it's this completely inhospitable place. It's literally just don't ever stick your hand into like behind the fridge or anything, or
Don't live your life.
no, it's not even like that. It's just basic like kind of stuff that's drilled into you. Like there's like every like few months in the paper there's like a big like double pull-out spread of like poisonous snakes and spiders and like the smiley rating, which is on our local paper, which is if it's like one smiley, then it's like they're like a bee sting where it'll affect you because they do have venom, but it's non-lethal. And then if it's two smileys, it's completely non-lethal, and it's just like, ow, it bit me, like, say, a dog would bite you. But then if it's like a skull, it's like, that's bad for you. If it's like two skulls, it's really bad. If it's three skulls, then basically it kills you within 10 minutes. It's just,
How many things have 3 skulls?
Actually, most of the other page did, but it was like it tells you like kind of like okay, this is like the red belly black. Stay the fuck away from it. You get people coming into your school to tell you how to avoid like how to not anger poisonous snakes. So if you see a snake, you know, like depending on it, because like sometimes it'll say like, oh, if you see like this particular snake, just jump up and down. It'll go, ah, fuck, and run away because it's a big coward and they're pretty blind, so they kind of they take in vibrations. So like, you know, if you stamp up and down with some snakes, they'll be like, oh fuck, and then run off. So you know, you stamp and bolt back, but they can lunge fucking far. Or there's other ones where you just have to really carefully back away and things like that.
That seems like an awful lot to place on a child.
It's just something you.
Yeah.
This is a thing that just they do in schools. They kind of come in and go, oh, if you know, or if you like see, you know, like there's a tourniquet kind of thing, and there's like the different types of venom as well.
Just understand that in Britain, most of the wildlife you see is like a pigeon and a squirrel.
Yeah, you don't get anything adventurous.
Yeah. Well, I mean, apart from Blackadders, they're just on BBC One every now and again.
Like, if we see something exotic, like exotic in Britain is like, oh, I just saw a pheasant. You know,
I saw one of those the other day. It was so cool.
Pheasants
they're
are quite
so
cool.
stupid. They're stupid. They just jump out into cars
Yeah,
on
they are.
purpose. Like, oh, why are you
This
doing
one
this?
nearly jumped in front of the bus and then it jumped back. It was very clever.
Oh, you found a clever one.
Yeah, that was like the only.
That's
clever.
why it's still alive.
They're like English whiskey peacocks because they're on whiskey.
On famous
okay.
grouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
like I just see them as they're just English peacocks.
Shall we move on to the next question? Because
Yeah.
I noticed that the time's getting a bit silly.
Sorry.
Charlotte did have a second question very
Sure.
quickly, so I want either a one word or at best one line answer.
Okay.
What little thing has made you smile recently? D&D last night.
D&D
That's my
last
answer.
night made me very happy.
Yep.
Wib. Also, I got like somebody bought some dice from our dice wish list, and that made me very happy.
I got a tiny figure of Kirby,
Oh.
and that makes me smile.
Yeah. What about you,
Excellent.
Drumblebum?
I'm sticking with D&D last night. I haven't played for such a long time. It made me very happy. Okay, next up, Saskia. Which video on the Snipe and Wib channel do you like the most / are most proud of?
Well, that's a loaded question.
I like the one that was called Car Shot, but it wasn't Car Shot.
Oh, you were in
fucking
that one.
hell.
Because I was on that one.
Boat wang.
Garshasp the Monster Slayer.
That's the one.
Car shot the monster slayer.
It would probably be...
If you don't answer one that I'm on, I'm going to be sad, by the way. Just
Okay.
Then Realm of Chaos.
no, you
would
can do
be-
a real answer.
It would be like one of the scripted ones.
Yeah.
I'm still quite fond of the Lovecraft games one, even though people still to this day comment on it being angry that we called Lovecraft racist on account of all of his racism.
Yeah, how dare we point out the blind.
Look up the name of his
fucking
cat and
obvious.
tell me he's not racist. Or just read anything he ever wrote. Or
Yeah.
or think for 2 seconds about what the other that he was so scared of actually was.
It's a metaphor.
But yeah,
he was a fucking huge racist.
I like his stories, but fuck the guy. But yeah, no, I think that's one of my favourite ones. I don't know why. I was just really happy with how that one came out. What about you, Snipe?
I'm trying to think of the names of them. I can't think.
Give me information, and I can probably tell
It
you.
was one of the latest scripted ones, the big long one. What was
What
it?
Realm of Chaos?
Yeah, it was Realm of Case.
Yeah,
Chaos.
the Slaves to Darkness, more precisely.
Slaves to Darkness. That was my favourite, and I'm most proud of it. I just think my biggest problem with it is that Drummer Matt wasn't in it. That would have made it my
Good answer.
favoritist ever.
He is in it though.
No, he's not. Not really. He
Well,
should have just been in there. Like we should have just recorded.
Yeah,
him for
I am
half
in
an
that
hour.
one. Yeah, good answer.
Facially, he's not in it, but his
Yeah, but
words are.
his face should be in there. Just like every like 30 seconds, it should just pop up like on a blank screen and just be a picture of Drummer Matt that's really like compressed, just zooming in slightly.
What
and
needs to
then
be
it just-
fucking deep fried.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
Not
Alright.
deep fried, just obviously like saved and stuff. Yeah.
Second question, I want another one-word answer from you.
That we totally
What
failed
shape-
at doing last time.
What shape of pasta is your favourite?
I like the ones that are a big spiral. I can't remember the name, so I just want to call them an Archimedes screw.
Okay, yeah.
I like the long,
Swaddled.
thin boys. So just normal Pescetti.
Normal Pescetti.
Oh, spaghetti. Okay. I quite like the butterfly ones. They're quite good fun.
I like the bow ties, but I don't like the way they taste. I don't like the distribution of sauce.
Yeah. Well, this is if you're a proper like Italian, you match your pasta to the sauce, but that's a whole separate issue.
Yeah.
That's why I like.
Which I know nothing about.
I like the
at all.
stringy Pescetti.
Okay. Saskia's last point was, after hearing Wib talk about them for years, I finally started listening to Streetlight, and they are indeed excellent.
Good.
Not that we needed confirmation, because as soon as anyone listens to them, they realise they're excellent.
Yes.
But
But
it's good to hear.
I'm glad that we, as prophets of the Streetlight, are able to carry forth their message of being a good band to more people.
Okay, he's off.
Okay, next up, Seamus, we've got a few questions.
Okay.
Hello.
What is the one character from your 40k factions that you can never remember? It's like, and yes, I realise the answer to this might be weird, because then you've remembered them.
I always forget that for orcs, because that's my main army, despite the one I'm mostly painting now being Space Marines. It is that I always get Badruk and Zagstruck mixed up, as evidenced in the Codex Compliant episode where I use the image of one for the other, because I always get them mixed up. I kind of forget that Zagstruck exists half the time. That's the big one for me. I just always forget.
I always forget about, I think it's Egil Ironwolf, which are basically just a tech priest, like bunch of boys, and I always just forget they exist. Because no one ever has any Iron Wolves. No one, I've never seen people do that with
I think they're actually all right now, but I've just personally not actually seen one.
Never seen one, and I always forget that they exist. So, Drumblebem.
I'm going to be honest with you here. I don't remember enough about 40k lore to forget any specific people.
Okay, so you just say everything.
You remember the Space Pope, Farsight, and Shadowsun?
Yeah, Space Pope's great. I think he's actually usable nowadays.
I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, beyond that, yeah, I'll be honest, I'm a fake fan. We have a husband for rating.
Okay.
Hero of the Imperium. Commissar Cyborg. We have a photo.
Yes.
I'll put on... I assume I can put this on Twitter. I'm going to put it on Twitter. I assume it's a fairly Twitterable picture. Just for giving people context.
Yes, this is Cyborg, who we met at Warhammer Fest.
Yeah, and he's been... I don't know who made the picture, but there's a photo of him posing on a copy of Playguard magazine for commissars that will boost your morale.
I personally feel that it sets a dangerous precedent to rate viewers, and I am not going to engage in it.
That's a good point.
Yeah, fair.
Because that's
Fair.
Yeah, we don't want people going, do you think that I'm worth anything? Give me a rating. It's like, no, that's weird.
I'll run away from this conversation.
I will say Commissar Cyborg is a commissar.
Yes.
Is a commissar out of 10. Okay. Next up then, a question that was possibly hard to answer. So would you rather? And apparently everyone needs to agree on this as a group. So,
Okay.
would you rather have a live-action Biker Mice TV series with Willem Dafoe as Modo, Danny DeVito as Vinny, and Bruce Willis as Throttle?
Yes!
Or, and we've mentioned this earlier on, which makes me think this question's going to be more interesting than I thought it would, have all of the kaiju films have their monster roars dubbed in by the Baragon lady?
Oh no!
Okay, I'm gonna say the second one, because if you don't know, in the movie that I mentioned earlier, the monster Baragon in GMK, as it's usually called, the suit actress in that would do roars whenever her Baragon needed to roar, and so there's footage on set of her Baragon roaring, but just a little.
It's the cutest thing.
It's the most adorable thing.
I'm gonna say the first one because you can easily just, when a movie comes out, you can just dub that yourself.
Okay, but it won't be by her, and
Just use record her doing the thing.
The thought of how horrifying a live-action Biker Mice thing would be, regardless of the actors, honestly...
Danny DeVito, Willem Dafoe, and Bruce Willis.
It'd just be them wearing, like, furry ears. It wouldn't be, like,
Would
CGI.
they look... Okay, I'll go for that one on one condition. Their costumes are up to the exact same level as H-Bomber Guy's Sonic costume.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that was assumed, right?
Okay, then that will take me to be that one, yes.
Yeah,
None of them are attempting to play the characters at all. They're just playing themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except perhaps Bruce Willis, because he should play a character.
Okay, he's playing like John McClane because he's like one of the only non-dickhead characters.
Because Bruce Willis in
person.
reality is not as fun.
Yeah. So yeah, that's perfect.
Bruce Willis as John McClane as Swaddled.
Yeah.
With that caveat, I would agree.
Yes.
Let's go with the top option. Only because before we started recording this podcast, I wasn't sure who Baragon was. And now I want to find out, but I think yeah. Okay, very last question.
Okay.
I am the guy.
Okay.
First up, they sent the McCree picture that you've been staring at for the last hour or two.
I have been staring at that picture
which
for a
I
while.
will probably also put on Twitter. Why not?
Mm-hmm. Thick thighs save lives, y'all.
just for people at home, the picture that was sent is McCree in his lifeguard outfit, but instead of wearing shorts, he's wearing a Speedo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is.
Looks like he's been running almost as much as I have recently.
Again, thick thighs save lives.
Awesome. Right, and the question is... Right, it's more of a request, really. Can Snipe tell us the story of when Drummer Matt decided he was a firefighter?
I wish I could, but it's like 2 hours and 40 minutes into this podcast. You did this deliberately, Matt.
Keynotes.
Okay, keynotes. Okay, let me try and remember this very legitimate tale of Drummer Matt when you decided you were a firefighter?
Yes.
Okay. So when Pokemon Go was just released, Drummer Matt decided to pick Bulbasaur as his starter.
Okay.
I, however, picked Charmander as my starter. And it was years and years and years before, because like Drummer Matt somehow got into the beta testing for trainer battles, one-on-one.
Yeah.
In Pokemon Go.
We didn't really want to talk about it on the podcast because we had to sign an NDA and everything. Yeah. Like even we did because we were seeing it as well.
Yeah. Which actually like weirdly never came up. He just bought a Bulbasaur and a Charmander plushie and then gave me a lighter. Because like, even though he could like basically battle with me in Pokemon Go, he basically said that we had to do it in real life first.
I think he thought that's what the AR thing was.
I think that's what, yeah. So I was like, okay, and you know, we'll do that. So he gave me a lighter and a can of hairspray, and he just had a pot of Miracle Grow that he mashed a 99-cent like ice cream into. I don't know why he did that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was scared to ask. And so like the battle begins, and I'm just like I'm kind of weirded out by it, but he's like so into it. I'm like fine. So I spray off a bit of like fire to the side. And he just literally just stands up and walks away. I'm like, oh no, fuck, I've somehow offended him. I didn't see him for 3.5 weeks. He didn't go home. He didn't answer his phone.
We talked to his parents and everything.
His parents had filed multiple police reports.
I mean, this wasn't out of the ordinary, but, you know, usually it's wise to inform the authorities when such a thing happens.
If Drummer Matt is a Roman. So we were like, okay, yeah, no, he'll probably just like, it'll be like last time where he turned up naked in the Peak District, covered in ambrosia, like strawberry jelly, like the cream stuff he likes.
Yeah.
And he said that he was the son of the mountain, because he like dug he went to dig a hole in it and birth himself, but he couldn't be bothered, so he only dug like half a foot in and then just put his foot in it.
I think there's probably something to be said about his psychological makeup, that he is so insistent on being born again from various inanimate objects.
I just think it's like a kink for him, but
actually, I didn't really want to think about it like that. But carry on.
Yeah. He comes back on like, I think it was probably the Tuesday afternoon, because we were kind of like, we were watching Coronation Street, not out of like, because we like it, but because it's like Drummer Matt's favourite pornography. that he watches.
Yeah.
We don't know why he calls it a pornography, but that's just, yeah. So we were missing him.
Like, he doesn't masturbate to it or anything. It's not, it's not weird,
says,
but he just calls it
is
that.
the pornography on? And we're like, okay, we'll watch the pornography with you. It's like, it's a cute little bonding kind of thing we do. So he rocks in. Are you alright, Trauma? Are you remembering?
Yeah.
So he rocks in, like, dressed as a firefighter, but, like, he stopped off at Poundland first. And he's basically, you could tell that he bought, like, a kid's costume.
Yeah.
So he's put the fire hat on, but he's actually set fire to it.
I don't think he understands the basic conceit of a fireman.
No, and like he's like in his underwear. He's in like frilly socks. Like, you know, there's like really, really nice, really thick socks, like winter socks that have like the little like pom-poms hanging off them.
Yeah.
He's in like those. And he's got this huge bucking set of books under his arm. Like photo albums.
Okay.
And he's wearing like this really like tight like pair of like a tight banana hammock that's for some reason is like, you know, braces.
Yeah.
How they've got the pinchy little crocodile clips. He's like tucked them under and behind each leg of his pants and just tied them in a knot rather than fastening the crocodile clips onto his pants.
Okay.
And he's wearing like suspenders.
Okay.
And he just drops this box. There's this huge like pile of photo albums in front of us. And we're like, oh shit, okay, where have you been? And he's like, I've been discovering myself. Also, I brought some photos. And we were like, okay, cool. So we start looking through, and it's just loads of, like, it's, like, very similar pictures. And I'm talking there's hundreds, right? Of this drummer mat in basically the same clothing, but looking a lot cleaner. Like, bent over things. And like trying to be really sexy, but it's like it's really weird things. So it's like a disused swing at the park. He's got like one leg up, and he's kind of like put a bit of the flap of like rubber in between his butt cheeks, and he's got his finger in his mouth. He's trying to be really sexy, but he's trying to pull that pose off on everything. So like he's in like the freezer aisle at Farm Foods.
The one that I
next
thought...
to the frozen peas.
There was one where he went to the junkyard and he's posing on what I believe was a busted, like, broken off door from a Deo Matiz.
Yeah,
that
it was
one,
very specific, actually.
That was the lighting on that one was actually pretty good.
It was I was really surprised because it was like the sun. It must be just setting
It must
or
take
rising.
a lot of time.
And the composition on that photo was terrific. And we were like, okay, Drama Matt, you've taken a lot of these photos. They're very good. And he was like, thanks, I'm a fireman. And we were like, but these are photographs of just like a vaguely suggestive sexual nature. Are you a sexy fireman? And he just goes, I'm a fireman. I take photos.
Oh, I think I've realised what happened. Mm? So, you know how when you issued that big thing of flame, it awoken something deep
Primal
inside him
within
that
him.
he realised that what he needed to do to fight the fire was to truly fight the fire. So he Googled fireman, but the first thing he saw was probably a sexy fireman.
Oh, shit. So, I mean, like,
and he didn't think to go to the second Google search result.
Well, no one goes to that. Drummer Matt can't be blamed for that.
He's a I'm feeling lucky guy.
yeah, exactly. Which is probably where most of these stories come from.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and, like, he just sat down. It was like, oh, like, you know, I'm a fireman now. I fight fires with sexy pictures, because that's apparently...
Yeah.
That's because... there he is now. His people have come for him. But yeah, because he'd heard that firemen get people wet.
Oh.
So that's why he took a bunch of sexy pictures. And then he just sat down and we watched the rest of the pornography with him. It was actually quite a nice day. We were really worried about him as well. Like, he didn't show up for, like, you know, when, like... You know,
I mean, the half an hour that we had to prize the, by this point, horribly melted plastic helmet from his scalp, that was pretty rough.
Yeah, I think maybe at some point one of us should have told him his hat was on fire, but, like, I just thought maybe that was his look.
He was into it,
He was into it, but yeah.
We don't have any more questions, do we?
Nope.
This is going to take so long to edit you all. I hope it's fucking worth it.
That was the podcast. Goodbye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Best ending.